Hi guys, good evening. I think we can go live now. Uh, Glad we are back into the regular times, not necessarily in the COVID lockdown times. Just got out of that. So a couple of my physical meetups got cancelled for those lockdown reasons, of course. So yes, welcome everybody. Hi, my name is Vikram, and just like a basic start to end from crypto, anything and everything to do with crypto. Let's talk. Satish, you may have to put your mic on mute. Hi, Satish. I guess if you have to speak, you may have to unmute your mic and then speak. But I guess there's very high, disturbance that's coming from your mic. When you're ready to speak, yes, try it again with your mic off. Cool. So at least we know. Let's start the meetup. Hello, everyone. My name is Vikram, and I'm one of the founders of India's first Bitcoin exchange, UnoCoin, and have now founded something called InstaCrypto. InstaCrypto is also an exchange and a payments platform. So we can give crypto payments gateway to people who have an online business if they are selling their products to India, and if they can sell the products abroad globally, they can start accepting crypto and start selling the products globally. So we are a payment gateway system for crypto solutions. That's also one of the things that InstaCrypto does. But one of the main ones of InstaCrypto is an exchange. And when you exchange, most of the exchanges give you a wallet, right? A wallet where you'll be able to store your Bitcoin and eventually use your Bitcoin from there. But then depends on what kind of wallet it may be. There are main two differences I would say in a wallet is a custodial and a non-custodial wallet. A non-custodial wallet will let you hold your Bitcoins by yourself, and it gives you a seed phrase or a passphrase or a mnemonic phrase, they call it. They're all the same name for 12 words to 24 words that you will get to write down when you open your Bitcoin wallet very first time, or even after that also that you can find that recovery phrase somewhere in the settings, and you can write it down. When you're writing it down, you are safeguarding your wallet for loss and theft of your phone. If it happened, your wallet should not get lost along with your phone. You should be able to use these 12 words which you've written down and kept in another phone, and then you'll be able to retrieve your wallet and your Bitcoin holdings. So that's very important. And in another exchange, where I was telling you about a custodial wallet, an exchange gives you a custodial wallet. It is not non-custodial because exchange controls your Bitcoin in this case. The reason they have to control is because they allow you to trade. If they don't get to hold your Bitcoin, they will not allow you to trade. So the two main differences, custodial and non-custodial wallets. I always prefer a non-custodial wallet. Only when I'm trading, I shift my Bitcoin to the custodial trading platform wallet, and then I trade. When I'm not constantly and everyday trading, I just move it to my non-custodial wallet where I'm completely in control of my Bitcoin. That's a simple thing that a lot of people or everybody should do. You should have an experience of using that way, and that's what I meant by InstaCrypto. InstaCrypto is a non-custodial exchange, and we do not provide wallets. You will have to come with your own wallet, send your address, and then you receive your Bitcoin straight to your wallet. Hi, Madan. You want to say something? You could start, Madan.
Yeah, Vikram. Like I just wanted to check: is it like a decentralized exchange, or is it again a centralized exchange? But you will have to connect with your non-custodial wallet, like anything like Trust Wallet or any other wallet.
Okay, so your exchange where you are able to exchange your Bitcoin to INR and INR to Bitcoin, there all have been custodial exchanges. There has been no non-custodial exchange right now. It's like your DAO or DAX. So decentralized exchange. So there, decentralized exchange, you can do crypto to crypto. You understand what I mean? So in a crypto to crypto decentralized exchange can work on smart contracts or escrow, inbuilt escrow systems. Most 99% of exchanges are a centralized exchange. That's how you are able to easily do many features on it. In a centralized exchange, they'll give you a custodial wallet wherein they are running this platform of trading. They will let you trade if you leave your Bitcoin in their custody. Same as your rupees also, when you have to keep your rupees and then vice versa exchange. In Insta Crypto,
Right.
you don't have to do that. In Insta Crypto, you can come with your own non-custodial wallet and you can complete your trade. Well, of course, Insta Crypto is also a centralized exchange. We have to manage it from centrally one place. That's how we are able to do INR to crypto and crypto to INR, because our company is linked to a bank account which will allow you to send and receive money into, and you will receive a cryptocurrency. Go on, Madan.
No, I am clear, Vikram. Thanks for explaining.
Glad was that. And I guess there's a few more people who joined. Hi, everyone. So the ones who've joined also, this is Vikram here. It's the beginning of the meetup. So you guys have any question, topics to talk about, you can go ahead. Yes, Vinit.
Yeah, Vikram, I have another question. This is about the payment gateway you were talking about, right?
Yeah.
So in India, business, or if I want to start a online business and I want to accept the payments in crypto, as you were telling, I can use the gateway. But what about the taxes and things like that, which like for any online business, right, within India, is there any support from that point of view?
Yes, of course, 100%. We don't want anybody to be in the soup with the Indian government, right? So what happens in your platform, if you already are accepting rupees in your platform, your rupees is coming to your platform's registered company account, right? Bank account. So all your rupees is coming to your bank account, and you use that bank account to file your ITR, income tax return. So your bank account shows all your in and outcome of your INR. So with Insta Crypto, what happens when you link it with Insta Crypto and you start receiving payments in crypto, your crypto received payments, you will not even see it. Basically, we as a company, we will receive that crypto. We will give you INR in the real time, and the INR comes to your account, and you have all your INR coming into your account for all the products that you sell. So anyway, when you are applying for your ITR, you are giving your bank account statement to your CA to analyze that. He'll be able to check all the INRs that's coming to it. Now, if you were accepting crypto and then change to INR, you don't even have to mention that you've been accepted crypto, because for you, you have accepted INR for your product and you're going ahead with that. So it's like just like a regular business that you'll be continuing. There is nothing new in it for you to go ahead and exert your energy into getting any more taxation done, because crypto, until and unless it stays in crypto, nobody knows the real value of it. When it is changed to INR, is the real value in INR it is, and that's the INR that you would be paying tax or uh, showing it to the authorities. So I hope that was clear.
Yeah, thanks, Vikram. Thanks again.
You're welcome, man. So yeah, that is a very good feature for a lot of businesses that's there, and especially the ones that in India we have all of these small spices, tea, food products, which are very nice and very unique that we have, and it's a lot of international people love uh, ordering these. This can be sold from India now for cryptocurrency, and you receive your cryptocurrency and you get your INR in your bank account. So it's as easy as doing a business locally. So it's just we're trying to help people improve their business and take their business to global audience. That's something which is very important right now. If you see in a country like India, which is developing, and underdeveloped nations which are there around us, they all find it hard to go global in their business models. But in Western world, where in the UK, I can give you a great example, because in UK I lived and worked in England for 7 years. So in my time of working there, a person who was my neighbor or my friend who wants to start a business, English person I'm talking about, they wouldn't ever have a problem of accepting global payments, right? Their banks kind of support that kind of system very easily. In India, we don't have that very easily. Our banks may ask a lot of questions. We don't have the free hand to just go and sell it globally. But hey, in India, if you sell it to Indians itself, is a pretty big market, right? but why shouldn't we be allowed to be global? So for those reasons, Insta Crypto and cryptocurrency and overall helps, drastically helps global players to be on an equal playground, gives everybody one same platform, which is the internet. And on internet, there are no borders, so we should have like a non-specific currency which helps in everybody to indulge in and makes it easy life for buying and selling and transacting with cryptocurrency. So for those reasons, we're pushing all those features that are very useful for the people to do all kind of business. So that's where we are. And hey, we've got some of you new people who joined. Hello, everyone. This is again Vikram. I've introduced twice already. So welcome to the meetup. You guys have any question about the whole crypto space? Please shoot.
Hey, Vikram. So first of all, thank you for putting this together. So just building on Vinith's query. You said when we partner up with Insta Crypto, so the ideally whatever cryptocurrency coming in would be transferred into INR and that would be reflected in our bank account.
Yes.
Would I be, or if I'm partnering with cryptocurrency, would I be in a position to have the current crypto directly also held in my wallet, or it's more like, because first of all, I'm a novice and I'm not sure about how it's like. Would that also is a feature of Insta Crypto in a way where I don't choose to convert it to INR, but I take it as a direct crypto and store it in my wallet. Would that be an option as well?
Yeah. Very nicely put out the question, because the option of having crypto also should be an option for the merchants, right? Because as a merchant, say you are selling products for 500 rupees worth each product, and we are always giving you that 500 for your crypto that you received, because every time you sell your product, yeah, it says 500 rupees, and 500 rupees equivalent for that time it may show, which we have the three main cryptocurrencies. It will show X amount in Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. Any one of them they send, we will change that to 500 rupees eventually, because any of these cryptocurrencies they send it equal to 500. And you will receive that 500 in your bank account. Nothing, no sweat there, no nothing lost. And you also as a merchant don't pay any fee. If the fees is paid by the sender, who is sending the cryptocurrency, he pays that 0.5% that we charge in fees, and he will pay that extra in crypto. Eventually you will get your 500 rupees in your bank account. But I guess once you start accepting like that and you now have an interest of crypto, that's where your question comes in. Now if we have an interest, why don't we are allowed to keep it in crypto? Very easily we can do that. We are already working on it. That's a very nicely we are doing it in a way that you can pull and set up a percentage of the receivings in crypto. So what we may not provide you is a wallet where you can hold that crypto. But now that you know about crypto, you're requesting us for a certain amount of percentage, say about every 5,000 rupees order, 10% of it can stay in crypto. So 500 rupees in crypto, the remaining 4,500, you want it in your bank account. That can be easily done. We're already working on it. So your 500 rupees worth of crypto that comes and you want to hold it as crypto, you will have to provide us with the wallet address that you already have, which is your custodian wallet. We don't want any of our custodian wallet to hold your Bitcoin. You should hold your Bitcoin. So because your rupees also, when it comes to your account, it comes directly to your company bank account, and your company's turnaround should be matching with that, because you sold it, you received rupees. Same way as your Bitcoin, when you see that 1% or 10% of it is received in Bitcoin, you should hold it in your custody. You are in control of the Bitcoin. So we will just request for an address, and then that address will be the one that will be credited your Bitcoin to. So that way, yes, there is an option. We are working on it to set that percentage nicely. Right now, yes, you can straight away go and accept Bitcoin and then get paid in INR. But if you were thinking to get completely into Bitcoin, right? Okay, there was a serious disturbance, but I hope that was a clear enough answer for you.
Yeah, thank you. Absolutely, yes, thank you.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure. So we have one question here. It says on the message, what is the platform you use? I'm not too sure what question is this. Is the platform for this virtual meeting you're asking? Anyway, guys, in the crypto space, I cannot say this is a crypto space news, but it's something that is going on that has happened 3 days ago in the crypto space, and a lot of talk is going on in this space and also otherwise globally. The gentleman named John McAfee, who's the McAfee founder, he was found dead in Spain's jail, where he was about to be extradited from Spain to USA. So the gentleman was a very big follower of cryptocurrency. He loved John McAfee loved his cryptocurrency. He has mentioned it many times in his interviews. He's talked about cryptocurrency, and he is one of the person who can understand crypto very deeply. And he had 100%, interest in cryptocurrency, and he knew how cryptocurrency is the currency of the world and how it was going to be technologically possible to scale, technologically possible that it will never be able to be stopped, technologically possible that it's the future. And he's a tech guy, right? He's one of those guys who knew how to get rid of your virus on your computers, because he was a dynamic guy. He was very smart. In 90s, back in 25, 30 years ago, he was building products which was sold for good price, and he sold his companies like that. So this is the person who suddenly dies, and for me, it doesn't look like suicide very clearly. Like, I had a couple of meetings yesterday with a lot of people who knew him, who had interviewed him, uh, and nobody can vouch on that he's a kind of person who will go ahead and suicide. So there are two ways that proves that he cannot be a person who can go ahead and suicide. Nobody ever thought that he was that kind of person. And secondly, the place where he was in a jail, right? In jail and lockup and cell and these kind of places, there are no, absolutely zero facilities for you to kill yourself. They're very nicely built areas where they make sure that none of these possibilities are there, where a person feels down and he should be able to kill himself. So that is another reason why I don't think it was a suicide. May have been very clearly a murder. But why would somebody murder John McAfee, right? Maybe because the way he was so outspoken and loud and clear about what kind of things crypto can bring to this world, and how crypto was very useful. So it is just one of the thoughts. But if you guys have heard of it, and if not heard of it, you have any questions, we can talk about it. But hey, that's not the only point. We are here to talk about anything crypto, beginners to experienced. I love talking about crypto at all times, and I always, wanted to meet people when I was new in the crypto space. So that's one of the reasons why I always have these meetups, because a lot of people who are new in the crypto space always prefer and then like to meet somebody and then talk about it. So here I am. Well, if nobody has a question, then I can continue with the conversation. We clearly know what is happening in China lately, that we've heard that China is curbing cryptos, and they're stopping cryptocurrency mining and things like that. Well, this kind of news from China has been on since 2013. It's been since 8 years we've been hearing this kind of news that crypto is banned in China. China's government is going to stop cryptocurrency. Well, there are a lot of other things also they said, which is like China is going to start their own, which is true. China has started their own cryptocurrency in a few major cities of their country. They have started rolled out their digital format of yuan. Soon they're going to be having it countrywide. Their yuan has very unique features in that cryptocurrency. It is even timed. So if you get paid in the beginning of this month, and if they have timed half of that amount to be spent within the end of this month, if you do not spend that amount within the end of the month, the money just disappears. So these are the new features that they have introduced in their digital currency. something beyond what other decentralized cryptocurrencies have shown. So their introduction to these features to push their people into their believed economy that they should all spend to to completely move the economy going. One of those features has been installed in their cryptocurrency. So like that, every country can come up with their own. But otherwise, yes, China's role on cracking down is not a new thing. It's an 8-year-old. Every year and every 6 months, there is a big media news from China saying that this is happening. Right now, also, yes, they are trying to stop some exchanges, some miners in China. And these miners could be buying electricity from the government itself. So that's how they know they need to stop them. But a lot of miners are running on their renewable energy, solar, and all those kind of things, and not necessarily tracked very well. Because how do you track a miner when you know last couple of years, a few months, he's just started taking a lot of electricity, paying a big bill for electricity. You know who to go and check if they're running mining, equipment. If they're running mining equipment, they're like, oh, this is not allowed with the government electricity, so we're not allowing you. So that way they may stop. But for those who are running on solar and renewables, they may not be caught, and uh, they are happily flourishing with their mining. But otherwise, mining is all over the world. If China stops, doesn't matter. Like a lot of people will continue to mining. The mining power, which is the hash rate, uh, did drop 2 days ago because of the stopping of some miners. Because these miners are pretty huge in China, when they stopped, the hash rate kind of came down a little bit. So when the hash rate comes down, it is a little bit more profitable because there are less competition going on. In China, each mining farms was pretty huge. Why was it pretty huge, and how do I know that? Is that about a year ago there was a fire in one of the mining rigs, and this location where it's supposedly a mining rig, because not everybody around locally knew about that particular building was a mining rig. There was a fire in that mining rig, and it burned down. When it burned down, just very minute at that time, the Bitcoin block didn't move. The Bitcoin block usually takes about 10 to 15 minutes maximum for it to churn out, like for the block to move. Usually it can be maximum of 30-40 minutes sometimes for one block, because it does not find the answer, and it takes a long time for the computers to mine. This particular time, when there was this question of this building being mining building, and it was burning down, and so miners were all off, the very minute of that, it took 1 hour 59 minutes for the block to move in Bitcoin. Maybe because the difficulty was high, and the amount of mining power that was there in this particular building just burned down, right? So that mining power had to be stopped. So say suddenly 10% of the mining had reduced. Now if the remaining 90% of the computers had to struggle to get that difficult key to be found. So it took almost 2 hours for that to be found. So clearly, when you put that match, you know for sure that place with burn down definitely could be a mining rig. Similarly, if you see in China, every time when there is a thing like this, there is a small fluctuation of price, which has also happened now. But otherwise, the major reason why we're having a fluctuation of price this time is because of the correction period itself. So, mind you guys, this is a correction period that's going on. That's why the prices are low. But soon we will have a good price coming back. It's the bull run year. By end of December today this year, Bitcoin will touch 1 crore rupees per Bitcoin. Whoever thinks otherwise, you can let me know why. And yes, Naveen, you wanted to say something. You were raising your hands. Please go ahead. You may have to unmute
Yeah.
your speaker. Go on.
Yeah, cool. I didn't realize that I was not unmuted myself. Okay. So one thing, just two distinct questions. One is we're talking about the Bitcoin and the limited supply and etc. But if you go to Coinbase or Crypto.com, there are multiple Bitcoins, and which is like there's a Vox video also where anyone can, like, there are YouTube videos floating that anyone can start a cryptocurrency. So how do you kind of find out which is legitimate and which is not legitimate, which to because see, from a techie or from someone who has a greater understanding in crypto, would go to their website, kind of read their claims and what are their technology. But what for a novice or someone who's starting up in this, how do you kind of find which is the legitimate currency to work with? So that is one question, and the other question is like, just you can take it however you want, but there's also this ether which revolves around cryptocurrency and the smart contract and etc. What is the difference between the ether and ether 2.0 and the minimum validation 36 or something, which is also confusing? Like, could you just shed light on those things? Yeah.
Okay, so the first one was 21 million Bitcoin. So the word BITCION, only the name Bitcoin, is different to Bitcoin Cash, is different to Bitcoin SV, is different to Guap Bitcoin, is different to Bitcoin Gold. So if you see in an email, if you have Bitcoin at gmail.com, that's different to Bitcoin cash at gmail.com, right? So very clearly we can see by the name, each one of them is different. Bitcoin with that 7 letters is actually the first one of its kind, and the remaining Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Gold, Bitcoin SV, and all of those, they're all the same Bitcoin, but they split in certain point of time where the ledger copy was used by both the crypto lovers and both the crypto developers, but they made their own chain. So, say if you have one ledger of the bank saying 100 people were there in the bank, 100 people's accounts and the names are written, their balance is written. If that book was xeroxed and photocopied, and you made another copy of that book, now if you have two copies of that book, you've written 100 rupees in both places in that ledger of my name. I have my account number and my balance is 100 rupees. Now, when you cloned it, there is another 100 rupees here in my new book also. But this new book is now followed by, say, Axis Bank. The old book was followed by SBI. Both are going to give me 100 rupees. That's exactly how Bitcoin works. When the fork happens from Bitcoin to Bitcoin Cash, everybody who held, say, 5 Bitcoins at the time and before the fork, and after the fork, I will be holding 5 Bitcoins also and 5 Bitcoin Cash also. So I'm in the new ledger too. I have new 5 Bitcoin Cash coins. These coins can do something different to the original Bitcoins. Original Bitcoin stays more of an asset class. Now gold is an asset class. So Bitcoin can stay and work similar to gold, because in Bitcoin, if you want to pay for my breakfast, like the way I can pay with my UPI in India with phone pay, I can just pay that 100 rupees to the breakfast dosa guy and finished, right? That my payment is done. But with Bitcoin, I may not use that 100 rupees payment with Bitcoin, because what happens with 100 rupees payment of Bitcoin, I may be paying up to 300, 400 to 500 rupees as fee to move that Bitcoin from my wallet to the guy who's accepting Bitcoin for his dosa. So it doesn't make sense for me to use Bitcoin now, is because you're paying up to 400 or 500 rupees as fee. So here in UPI, we don't pay any fee. That's why we're using 100 rupees payment to that guy with UPI. Only that token which works with least amount of fee can be worked with 100 rupees. So Bitcoin Cash comes along. Bitcoin Cash is also a fork of Bitcoin, same as your Bitcoin, which started in 2009. The name now is called Bitcoin Cash because the ledger now follows a different set of rules. Small changes in the rules, which is an update, which helps, and people believe that this helps in the future of scaling, has been adopted in Bitcoin Cash. And that part of the new Bitcoin Cash was built to take as least fees as possible. So in Bitcoin Cash, when I make the same 100 rupees transaction now, I'm paying only 10 cents, 10 paise, not even cents. In each cent, they can do up to 10 transactions. So I'm paying only 7 to 10 paise. When I'm paying 7 to 10 paise, up to 10 rupees also, when I pay, it doesn't pinch me. So for 100 rupees, I make the payment with Bitcoin Cash. Now, did you see what the use case of Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash was? There are two different use cases. One is Bitcoin being the asset class. And if I'm buying a Ferrari or a house, I'm paying in many Bitcoins, right? At that time, I'm paying 200-300 rupees of 1,000 rupees as fee. At that time, it doesn't pinch me much because I'm paying, 50 lakh rupees worth of Bitcoin to somebody. When I'm paying 50 lakhs, 1,000 to 2,000 rupees for fee is not a problem. I have a choice to make Bitcoin Cash payment also then, because Bitcoin Cash is also an asset. It is also a payments tool. It's also a programmable money, same as your Bitcoin. But each coin now is highlighted to be one one feature bigger than the other. So in Bitcoin, asset feature of asset class is bigger. In Ethereum, also that question that you were asked in the second question, which I'll come to that. But in Ethereum also, Ethereum can also be a payments tool because it can also move from one end to the other with value. But the fees also is high in Ethereum. So Ethereum can be a programmable money where it is proven to help in programming very easily, making decentralized exchanges, decentralized loans, dividends, those kind of farming, it's called, those kind of things that you can build on Ethereum. It's very nicely done. So Ethereum becomes mainly like a programmable money, and your Bitcoin Cash stays as your payments tool, crypto payments tool, crypto programmable money, and crypto asset. So that's how they all three can do all three features. But which does better in specific circumstances is what it can get famous for. So in Bitcoin Cash, it is famous for its payments because every day when you make payments, 100 payments, you are trying to make small payments. You don't want to be paying 100 into 400 rupees per transaction fee in Ethereum and Bitcoin. So you don't use Ethereum and Bitcoin. You're using Bitcoin Cash to make these payments, but you store some value with you. Then your profile may have all three coins. You love what developing. You're a developer. You're a coder. So then you can hold Ethereum and learn about the Ethereum blockchain, and then start working on Ethereum blockchain. Maybe build something, help the Ethereum and Ethereum token users to maybe do a decentralized exchange, something like that. You can build if you're a good programmable person. But again, Bitcoin Cash can do all three. It is a payments tool coin, but it is an asset also. Of course, Bitcoin Cash is also a great asset, same as your Bitcoin, because they both have the same trajectory and then the same future to go to. So their increase in adoption will definitely happen. So the price will also increase as an asset. Bitcoin Cash is also very programmable now that Bitcoin Cash blockchain is opening doors to many things like smart contracts, to SAP tokens, to NFT tokens. Well, Bitcoin is not allowing that yet on its blockchain, but Bitcoin Cash is open to all these additional enhancements with programming, and all that is happening. So, but niche, its use could be in one where you have the maximum for that. Like Ethereum has got maximum followers, so it becomes a really good programming money because then you can connect with a lot of people and talk about those things. In Bitcoin Cash, it becomes a real good payments tool. Well, we know how important UPI is. The reason it is so important is very clearly seen by the amount of usage and the amount of adoption that has happened in India for UPI, because it's really useful. When it's free and instant payments, it's absolutely very useful for the public. So that way, each coin is coming into a niche place. Uh, if you see now that your confusion between Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash is the price. So with exact words, Bitcoin, the short form for it is BTC. You will see the price is different. It's priced higher and than Bitcoin Cash, and Bitcoin Cash price is a little lower. So they both are one of those cryptocurrencies, the fork of each other. Like you said, online, when you see there are many places where you can easily see how to start your own cryptocurrency. Yes, you can. It all depends on will you be able to manage your cryptocurrency to have enough users, enough network power, enough security to prove that it is secure so that people are supporting your coin, and then depending on your coin's mining capacity, the way it can run, they're all supporting with the hardware to your coin. So once you get all that support, your coin becomes popular. But for that, you have to wait a lot of time and you have to do a lot of work. So not just, you shouldn't just start a coin unless and until you know you can get these things behind you, and then people to support you and get these things done. So that's why we have these forks that's going on. Every fork, when somebody can actually start his own coin. Maybe you can start on Ethereum blockchain, Bitcoin Cash blockchain. A lot of people have coins now that they're doing. A coin that you can start can be used in many things. You can start your own cryptocurrency, of course. You can use that cryptocurrency coin for your company's shares also. Maybe have 10 people who are working for you. You divide the 10 people with that coin, saying that this is the company coin, and then all your 10 people hold these coins. Depending on the amount of percentage that you hold, one person may hold 1%, other person may hold 50%. The remaining people may hold, two people 10%, the other can share the remaining. So that will predict that will give you the holdings of that particular company, because you only printed say 100,000 and each 1,000 is given to 1% stakeholders. You can divide that crypto like that. So the new tokens that has been launched is useful in many ways. If you can see that videos and then you can launch your own, good luck with that. Go ahead and launch, because you should launch it and experience it. Maybe you're very good at it. You can probably make your coin really popular. Well, really popular means really pricey. So then you can be 50% owner and then own 50% of that worth of the value. So if the coin is becoming pricey, they check all of these details, and if you're the owner of 50%, they may say, okay, this guy holds a lot of it, maybe I don't want to put too much money in it. So if you had held only 10% of it and remaining 90% you're distributed, people would clearly see online that, oh, you have actually distributed most of it. That means you're not being money hungry. So the price of the crypto of you've started may go up. Eventually you will have that value. If you're holding, say, just 10%, but the value is too high, that means you made enough money. But if you're holding 50%, the value is low, you're still holding 50% of that coin, so you still own some good value. So like that, you can have your own crypto. The point two, you were mentioning about Ethereum 2.0. Ethereum 2.0 is just a trial and an experiment like every other cryptocurrency. Ethereum point one is a your proof of work based coin, and Ethereum 2.0, what they're trying to do is trying to change the proof of work to proof of stake. In that proof of stake transformation, it's going to take some time, about 2 years. Within that time, most people should see how it is useful, and then start doing the validation and the security of the chain through staking, not necessarily mining. So that way, that 2.0 is coming in place. I hope I got those things covered. If you have any doubts, please go ahead. More questions if you have others.
No, I think so. I would park my questions, and it was really insightful. And also, as you said, anyone can start it. Just like a Dogecoin. Dogecoin it started as a meme, and everyone Elon Musk backed up, and right now SpaceX uses it for their next missions.
Totally.
I do agree. Yeah.
So yeah, it's a feature for everybody. Whoever has the right understanding for that feature can become really famous today. So not the only people sitting with the printing press and print the money and print the money as much as they want are not the only ones who are powerful now. Anybody who's good at minting their own coin, circulating their own coins, managing and running and marketing their own coins, if they're good at it, they can also be equal to that person who's sitting with that printing press and printing those dollars. It's as powerful as that.
Can I go ahead and ask a question?
Yes, please. Atul, right?
Hey, hi Vikram. Yes, I'm Atul here.
Go on.
I have a specific question. I may have got the concept wrong, but I would still like to get clarity about it.
Please go ahead.
There's some cryptocurrencies which are famous, but the founders and the founding members and the developer team, they have most of the stake, right, in the whole cryptocurrency thing, because they're responsible for developing it.
Yes.
And they release about 10% of it to the market.
Yes.
So in these categories, it is built on a blockchain, which is supposed to be decentralized. But in these cases, isn't it centralized?
Yes, totally. You're 100% right. If they are releasing only 10% to you and holding 90%, it's a centralized coin that you gotta have.
Like Ethereum and all have that, right? It's not really decentralized. It's almost like holding it and we're just getting a part of it.
Yes, that is possible. See, Ethereum is already started. At the time when it started, yes, it was parted like that, but it is still a decentralized coin where the way it functions. So it is producing coins at a certain pace. That's the inflation that is set in the coin itself. That particular coins that is getting newly minted, now everybody has a chance to go ahead and mine that. If you have enough mining rig for Ethereum, you're validating their transactions and also benefiting from the mining, your mining incentive that you get in Ethereum itself. So that way, not all coins were minted beforehand, because most completely centralized coins would have minted all the coins beforehand. There is nothing to mint in the future. There is no reason to secure that network also, because the network is riding on some other network and they have printed that coin completely, like the ERC20 tokens or ERC721 tokens. These tokens are mined and minted on top of the Ethereum blockchain. And once you are minted it, that is the exact numbers you've already minted. Say if you want to make it 10 million, you've already made 10 million. There is no more proof, no more of it to be mined. So out of the 10 million, if they're giving you only 10% of it to the public and remaining like 9 million they're holding it, that's a bad way of running their economics. So a lot of people may not like that, and once they read all these details, then they will reject your coin and maybe follow somebody else's coin. So you should know what you're doing. Don't consider that, like you said, like you are there. If you consider people are stupid and then just do whatever, people can see through it and they will not support your coin. For your coin to be supported, then you may want to have your own blockchain, and then have a minting way. In the initial airdrop, they can have say 10% of it, and the remaining 90% is set to be mined. And that way, you will bring in maximum number of people. And with that 10% also, if you want to divide it to some people, maybe keep only a little of that for yourself. Also, will help in understanding that you're trying to do something, some genuine, you know, idea that you're trying to float with your coin. So those kind of things are very popular. Yes, it's useful. Somebody like you and me, we know what we are checking, right? We will check that and we will not follow him if he's trying to be a con artist and trying to print all of it for himself. And he'll send 10%. If the 10% value in the markets little go up, he can dump 90% of it for that price and exit, right? So why would you allow that thing to happen for him to exit? So we should check a little bit of details and then make sure that these things are not done. Especially the use case for minting new coins are very popular on Bitcoin Cash blockchain. On Bitcoin Cash blockchain, the SLP tokens, it's called the Simple Ledger Protocol tokens. These tokens are very easily that can be minted. The one major advantage in SLP tokens is that every time somebody does a transaction in an SLP token, you are adding up real Bitcoin Cash, which is 540 satoshis per transaction in the network of that SLP. So the SLP network of that coin becomes very valuable in future, because more people do transactions of your token, more Bitcoin Cash is really held in that uh, chain, and more popular and then more useful that coin will be. ERC20 tokens right now are not having that kind of feature, but they are popular just by their name of ERC20, of course. They were the first ones of its kind. But yes, like you said, you got to watch your coin before you put in your money in it.
Thank you, Vikram. I have just another question.
Go on.
Ethereum 2.0 is, most of it is spread around its developers, right? So what's your take on that?
Ethereum 2.0, most of it is, I'm sorry, I didn't get the whole question. After that, what did you say?
Like the people who are developing the currency, like the background, like how they use ETH, like let it be the people using the Ethereum currency, the people developing the software of ETH 2.0. Like, aren't most of the people holding it? Like most of the developers holding it?
So they were lucky in the beginning to hold all the coins, and then they've continued. I don't think Ethereum 2.0 has given out any new coins for them to hold newly a large sum of it. Ethereum 2.0, for my knowledge, is just a way of doing the proof of staking. They're trying to move from proof of work to proof of stake. That way, the transformation is happening, but it's not given itself. Came from Ethereum Classic when the split happened, when the fork happened. Since then itself, those divide and holding of those coins are there. And now people must be holding more than the other, but not necessarily they got it for free, like the way any new coin launch happens at that time when you get free. That kind of free coins was not airdropped, I think. It's my understanding. I'm not 100% on this, but what do you say?
What I thought was like when I just saw Ethereum presentation, one side, even holding maximum of the stake, the company, the people who started, even if they hold the maximum of the stake, there's always room for shifting power, because it is an inflationary currency, meaning it does not have any limited supply. But in case of Ethereum 2.0, doesn't it have a limited starting when multiple people hold it and they own almost the maximum share of Ethereum 2.0? I had that confusion, so I have to research more on that.
Maybe a little bit more research for me also then. So the idea of Ethereum 2.0 was a technical idea that the change of proof of work should go on proof of stake. And proof of stake is not very dependable for me unless it proves itself in the next 10 years, like the way proof of work has proved. Proof of stake can be manipulative because, like you said, the big whales can hold a lot of it, and then they can now they are now responsible for your performance of that coin itself, for it to be confirmed in transactions, for it to be any kind of development for it to happen, they will have a higher voting rate and things like that. Depends on what the fine details will be allowed for them to do. But yes, proof of staking is not been here for so long in a very valuable coin platform where it can prove itself. What I mean by that, in a valuable platform, Bitcoin is very valuable because it's close to half a trillion in market cap. In that way, that blockchain is proved itself. That's why they can hold that kind of value. As proof of work, it has proved itself. So proof of stake is still in the initial stages, I would consider. And of course, if the developers have launched this, they will have a bigger interest in holding majority of stake so that they can control the staking, right? So if they have launched 2.0 confidently, that means these people all already had some Ethereum where they will be the stakers too. So if it was not like that, there is no incentive for them to launch this, to test this. So they themselves must be holding a good amount of Ethereum. That's how the beginning of this staking is started now, and then it started with these people. Well, like you and me with their limited experience, I think even everybody in this crypto space, in the Ethereum space, is still limited in experiences because the amount of time it's going to take is not happened yet. So if I give it another 5 years from today and how smoothly it can transform into proof of stake and continue to flourish that way and continue to support equally everybody like the way proof of work has been supporting, then I will definitely prove it right and then maybe continue from there. Because those people who are the developers who you're saying may be holding bigger stakes, can be doing it just to make sure that chain of proof of stake perform well and then and also successfully come out a good feature. For those interests also they may be holding. You cannot straight away blame somebody just because they're holding higher stakes that they will be a bad apple. Only time can tell that. So like even XRP, right? XRP is a centralized cryptocurrency, started in 2011, back in 10 days ago, 10 years ago. And then they were all centralized people. They were all doing it very well because they're centralized. They used to mint it and they used to hold maximum share. But they didn't cheat till recently when they dumped a lot of their value. So if you see, even after 8 years, if somebody can dump and cheat you, it may happen. But at least for that 8 years, they tried their best to work with banks and everything. Being centralized, a lot of people use their tokens only to do trading. I never bought into XRP because I was trying to move away from centralized systems to decentralized, right? Why should I go back to a centralized coin again? But hey, Ethereum is not centralized, but the way staking may take them to that feature, well, we both can know that only with time. So let's wait and see.
Yes, Vikram. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So yeah, and anybody wants to talk about anything latest that's happening in crypto space and date on that, or just have a word about that also we can do. Because the price has slipped quite a bit today. Again, the price correction is not complete yet. It's still on it, and it's going to eventually take up a great value in itself. Like each Bitcoin, if it has to go 1 crore per Bitcoin by end of this year, it can. How did I get into 1 crore per Bitcoin price range? I can give you an insight on that. So if you remember how the price of Bitcoin jumped to $1,200 in 2013, that was the highest ever it had ever touched in 2013. So when it jumped to $1,200, from 1,200 in 2017 it went to 20,000. And before that also, it has proven every time when there is a bull run, and after the halving year, the next year becomes the bull run year. In the bull run year, it has always gained 10x, 10 times the value of the previous high. Previous high will be usually a 4-year ago high. So minimum 10 times of the previous high is easily done on a Bitcoin blockchain. And the kind of adoption that is happening for Bitcoin and the kind of like interest and institutions coming into Bitcoin. What happens when everybody's interested and they all want to be part of it? They want to buy into it. When they're trying to buy into it, the economics plays a big role where demand is increased and the supply is fixed. Supply is not increasing. So the price will be the only thing that will increase. So we are hoping Bitcoin will touch 1 crore and above. So 10x of the previous high in 2017 was 20,000 US dollar, around 14 lakh rupees. 10x of that will be 140 lakhs, which is 1.4 crores. And in dollar value also is going to go 10x is what we are expecting. Of course, going up will be almost the same in dollar or INR value. So 20x, $20,000 to $200,000 is easy for Bitcoin to gain.
Yeah, Vikram. What do you have to say about the? Okay, Madan, go ahead.
Atul, you
It's
go
fine.
first.
If it's a follow-up, you can ask, man. I'll wait. If it's it's about Bitcoin. I wanted to ask his take on El Salvador.
El Salvador is a great move. El Salvador brings a great, media news for everybody who's Bitcoin lovers, cryptocurrency lovers. The specifics of how it is used and things can get even better and better with more countries joining in. Right now, El Salvador likes Bitcoin, adopts Bitcoin, and wants people to use Bitcoin. It's a great news. It's a great opportunity for crypto to grow into the countries, your forex balance that they hold, right? In as Indian government holds forex, which is close to 600 billion US dollar. Tomorrow we can be holding some cryptocurrency also, so that we can do trade with El Salvador. Suddenly think El Salvador had got a great product to sell, and if they're selling it and they're not going to accept dollars anymore, they may now. I'm just saying, if they were so loved Bitcoin and they want to continue holding only Bitcoin and supporting trade, global trade only with Bitcoin, then it will prompt other countries also to hold, because we are continuously buying some cigars from El Salvador. We want to make sure the cigars are in for us. If they're not taking dollars, we will give them in Bitcoin. So we will have to hold Bitcoin now as US, as an Indian reserve, Indian trade reserve. So those things may happen because of this news, which is always good. Cryptocurrency is getting a little bit more legitimate, which is also good. Media is talking about big good news. Who had a bad problem at the time when El Salvador accepted? There were two people who had a problem with them. One was Federal Bank in New York. The other one was IMF. They both showed concerns that why El Salvador went ahead and accepted Bitcoin as a legal tender. So when that happened, why did they have a problem? They had a problem is because El Salvador owes them some money, and now IMF goes ahead and says that, yeah, you asshole, you just want to go ahead and accept Bitcoin. You don't even realize that you've taken loan from us for dollars. You're not even able to pay us back. But then El Salvador will be able to pay them back if they wait another 6 months. When the price of Bitcoin shoots up, then they can easily pay back and ask IMF to shut their mouth. But before even that, the Bitcoin maximalists, Bitcoin lovers, and crypto lovers around the world and the US, they came along and to support El Salvador. They raised $1 billion worth of cryptocurrency, mostly in Bitcoin, to pay back IMF and shut their mouth, which happened. And soon, I think El Salvador will find it's very useful that they are holding Bitcoin. When the price goes up, they can just like pay this thing also. Because if they had to hold in any other format their currency, they wouldn't have seen a growth, sudden growth like the way Bitcoin can give. If they are holding in oil, forex, or gold, precious metals, nothing can just suddenly jump up in price like the way crypto can give them returns. So because they're holding it the right time, just before the bull run starts, the second biggest bull run in this year, which is waiting to happen in a couple of months. With that, they will be very happy to have shifted from other coins to cryptocurrency and Bitcoin as their legal tender.
And again, talking about why the IMF and the Federal Bank are, mad at El Salvador, I think both of us know that they don't like the concept of, cryptocurrencies even existing, because it really challenges their position in the world.
Very right. We needed somebody to challenge that, because till now nobody was challenging them. Is why they took people for a ride, and they should take advantage of that situation. Hope, very nicely come, because there was the only other way anything would have been challenged in that space before crypto was to be holding gold. And anybody who tried gold, which is Saddam Hussein tried gold and Gaddafi tried gold, because they were holders of gold, they had a lot of it, they were open to trading globally with gold. They both got killed for that reason, because US dollar doesn't like somebody using real metal against their paper that they flaunt. How do they become so powerful? Is because they have those defense equipments which is built to support that paper, and that defense equipments were built to support that had to be tested somewhere because they were getting expired. So they said, okay, Saddam Hussein, open your mouth. Let's put some in your mouth so that you can experience and tell us how nicely this is built. And when he tried it, he died. Well, they had to kill him because they don't like gold, right? So in today's world, if we had to compete with this, like I said, gold could have been an option, but it is very, very hard to move gold around. So that makes us very vulnerable and very exposed to the world, and we get shot down like the way Saddam Hussein and Gaddafi got shot down, because they want you to just use dollars. Dollars is used means then they can control. Because when India paid $1 billion worth of payment to Iran, this was 2 years ago, for the oil that we have bought from Iran. The payment is not yet reached Iran. The money that we have sent is still sitting in New York. It's not cleared from New York Central Bank. Is because New York says, no, we've put Iran in sanction. Why are you trying to pay them? So India is not able to buy cheaper oil. We are experiencing hyperinflation in our own country with fuel-related issues. Is one of them is Iran. Because we cannot buy from Iran, we have to buy from expensive markets. This is the kind of things that can happen if we give too much power to one particular institution, which now takes advantage of that position and that power that they have.
So Vikram, my another question is like the DeFi space. Like DeFi space is booming, and busting, booming. Both things are happening simultaneously, and most of the platforms are related to Ethereum, either Ethereum or like a similar kind of platforms, right? Like BSC, Heko, and so on and so forth, right?
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
with
you're
that,
right.
how? Yeah, like what about the Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin? I know like Stacks is doing something to make Bitcoin programmable, but apart from that, do you see anything where we can have some of the DeFi kind of opportunities in Bitcoin Cash? Because you have been so long in this, right? I'm pretty new to Bitcoin Cash, even though I have been in the crypto space for some time, but it was like a Bitcoin, so it was not like that easily programmable, right? You have to
Yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right. You got the points very clear. So there is a lot of things happening around this DeFi systems. Decentralized finance is the biggest thing that is crypto is bringing us to us, right? You're decentralizing
exactly.
finance. The finance to the older days of finance is all centralized, very nicely centralized, so that in Indians are controlled by Indian banks centrally. Indian banks are controlled by the RBI centrally. RBI is controlled by the Federal Bank in New York centrally, and New York enjoys the power of being centrally owning all these financial institutions around the world. And all the bad things that's happened in the last 30, 50 years is clearly responsible. You can put that clear indication of who's responsible in the Federal Bank and its money printing and its centralized authority has been at fault. So when you have that, you need decentralized formats, decentralized way of lending and funding money, decentralized way of exchanging from crypto to crypto or crypto to INR, decentralized way you are able to secure people's money and give interest on it, so dividends on it, and give them some, like calling farming, call it whatever. And then decentralized way you're escrowing somebody's money, and then you are able to make two people do a transaction without any third party being a human as a trust system in between. Here you have a computer system which is being the trust system in between two people who are doing a business, holding that in a smart contract escrow. All this is DeFi. Decentralized finance is going to be the future, of course. Now, who all are working on it? Madan, you very clearly said, of course, Ethereum is the first one. Ethereum has done lots of it. Why Ethereum did that? If you start the story from the beginning, Vitalik, who's the founder of Ethereum, was a great developer on the Bitcoin blockchain. Now, Bitcoin blockchain had many good developers at that time. Uh, Name it Amitaki, name it your Vitalik, name the other guy who was there till recently, and then he had to leave. Uh,
Gavin Wood.
I'm sorry?
Gavin Wood. Are you talking
Gavin,
about
yes.
Gavin Wood?
Yes, Gavin Anderson, yes. So Gavin was at least one of the main guys. He took straight handover from Satoshi. So these developers are not there developing on Bitcoin anymore for a reason, because they were not allowed to develop like the way the protocol clearly says and Satoshi's white paper clearly says. Because some people came in between later in the stage of crypto, and they loved crypto pricing so much, and they were like even funded by the Federal Bank in New York, that they started changing the rules of the way crypto was made in the beginning. So by changing the rules, first of all, they're not even allowing the developments to happen. When the development stage came of updating the Bitcoin protocol, the protocol was changed to something called RBF, which is replaced by fee, which is going to make few people only do transaction on Bitcoin only if they pay higher fee. So that means it's not for the masses. So restricting Bitcoin to the masses was what their agenda was. And at that time is when Bitcoin Cash split happened. When Bitcoin Cash split happened, Bitcoin Cash said, no, enough is enough. Vitalik was moved out. All the good developers, you threw them out. Now you're trying to change this also. We're not going to allow that. So when Bitcoin Cash split the fork, it took that particular one that Satoshi built as first in, first out. If you make the transaction first and timestamp it first, your transaction definitely has to go before anybody else. Anybody else means even if they pay 10 Bitcoin Cashes fees, your 10 cents should go first. So that's what has been happening. We would like the Satoshi's protocol to continue. And also Satoshi clearly mentioned at the time that the block size was unlimited in 2009 and 10 of the Bitcoin. When he limited that block size to 1 MB, he even said, Satoshi did say that at that time, that this is only a temporary solution, that we're fixing it to 1 MB, helping the mining and node operations very easily. But with time, we should increase the 1 MB to more, because then we can hold more transactions and do more things. When I'm saying do more things, is like what DeFi can do. When DeFi is trying to do something, you need some space in the block for you to add these features on top of every transaction. Now Vitalik was moved out, so he felt pissed off, right? So he went and did a chain on his own, and in that chain he made it very easily programmable. So that's why we can see most DeFi is happening there. But of course, even he is not foreseen what is going to happen, which has happened now in Ethereum, is the fees has gone up. Because the fees has gone up, the DeFi systems which you have to execute on the chain, on the blockchain of Ethereum, makes it expensive for everybody to run a small kind of operation on it. Unless you're doing a big operation, you're able to do on-chain every time, pay the fee, make the transaction happen of a DeFi transaction. Maybe you're staking somewhere, so you have to provide liquidity, you sent it to them. While providing liquidity, you paid almost 1,000 rupees as fee. But then if the liquidity that you're providing is equal to 1 lakh, okay, 1% you're paying as fee is fine. But if some people who wants to also participate and give only 2,000 rupees as their liquidity, for them it makes it a little hard, because they only have 2,000 and your fees is 1,000. So it limited itself a little bit in that space, but it proved to show the progress that it can give in the DeFi space. But who picked it up very nicely is Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash is building all these platforms. Smart contracts are very nicely available. Your tokens are very nicely built on it. NFC is built on it. NFTs are built very nicely on it. So all of these tokens, which is SLP, NFTs, your smart contracts, escrow systems, DeFi exchanges, which is available on Bitcoin Cash, all of these are doing really well because the fees are less. So every time when you're securing your DeFi transaction, because it's on chain, it is taking less fees, and it's proving that Bitcoin Cash blockchain is the next, programmable chain that can make really a lot of things happen. And we are working on many things that's possible today already. On your escrow system that's available on Zapit Wallet, there are systems that is available on Zapit Wallet. They're all on-chain systems, and all the NFT, including everything that is there, can actually prove that they're all on-chain via blockchain-based protocols, and they're all DeFi systems. So check out Bitcoin Cash protocols on this is doing really well, and then some of them are building. You can join them and help your put in your helping hand to build these kind of systems.
Definitely, Vikram. Yeah, thanks for clarifying, because I was mostly looking at, as you rightly said, right? I did a small transaction. I was experimenting with a couple of, I think, couple of months or maybe 6 months ago. I sent like around some 1,000 rupees worth of Ethereum, and I had to pay the exact same fees just to transfer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, you may have tried and tested it once, but for you to test it again and again, you may be feeling like, what the hell? Why am I paying 1,000 rupees just to test this, right?
That's the last time I did the transfer. It's still sitting in another wallet, but that's how it is.
You tell me about it. Now that the other wallet, if it was just for the trial round, you can't even bring that money back to you. It means you're trying to bring that money back. You will only get dust, because most of the money is actually paid as fee. And then there's another crappy thing that's going around, is that eventually there is some dust that stays back also. Because what happens if you have, say, 2,000 rupees in your wallet, 1,000 rupees you're no transfer, 1,000 rupees you're paying as fee. And that fee that you're trying to pay, if you selected a 900 rupees fee, and 100 rupees that you saved does not even add up to the 1000 and become 1100 and moving out of your wallet, that 100 rupees stays back in your wallet and becomes dust. You can't even use it, and you can't even send it or hold it. It's such a tease. Well, that's small things that is there as a tease is what going to be fixed by Bitcoin Cash, and it is already fixed. It's not that it is working on it. It's just building much more better, secure interest for people, so that people can also start supporting that particular on-chain DeFi systems that is brought by Bitcoin Cash blockchain. It's for the masses, right? So the masses will come in maybe in the next bull run.
Yeah, thanks, Vikram.
You're welcome,
Yeah,
man.
you are actually, yeah, you are creating interest about Bitcoin Cash, because I was always thinking like it is programmable. It is like Bitcoin, probably not programmable, right? That was the idea mindset. But you are giving a lot of new information, which is making me think I can look at the DeFi space from the Bitcoin Cash point of view, as well as to use it as like a transaction from a transaction point of view. Thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. Anytime. Especially that I have learned this particular thing. I'm living in India right now. When I quit the UK and I got back to India also for a reason, because I found more bigger lovers of Bitcoin in India than any other. Even though there were big lovers in the UK, I wouldn't say no. But for me, I loved it that this place had so much vibe in crypto. So I came here. Now that I'm here, in the last 5 years, I have seen a transformation that has happened in the financial space. We introduced UPI. I never felt anything like UPI in UK when I was living there. And when I'm now talking to people in the UK, when I'm trying my business deals there, they're like telling me, this is their words, right? They're like, Vikram, you know how it is, right? In the UK, we're going to get these settlements only Monday morning. We don't know what's happened till Monday morning in Saturdays and Sundays transactions. That's where UPI comes in. Great feature. With UPI, like a feature on a Sunday evening when you're buying your products, instantly settle that money from your bank is reached his bank. He's able to check that from his account. And once he's reached his account, he knows there's no charge back there, and then he's got his money. He gives you a product. That kind of feature with UPI is really useful. Another major thing that UPI does is it does this transaction for free. When you are allowing people to do for free, that's when the smaller businesses, the smaller people, the masses can come onto the stage. Till that time, the masses cannot. Like the wire transfer is available for doing international transfers instantly, almost like within a day. That is what is their level of instant is, right? In banking level, one day. So in that one day, also when you have to do it in one day, as quick as one day, you're paying high fees. That means you cannot do small transactions. If you were building a software, selling it to the whole world and trying to receive money via wire transfer, for your software, you may want to price it just 100 rupees because you're making clone of the softwares. You can sell it to millions of people. You want to just charge 100 rupees. You cannot receive that 100 rupees unless you pay 1000 rupees as fee from X to Y within cross-border transactions. These are the things when you see UPI like a feature flourish in India, you have a great idea that which cryptocurrency can be like UPI. And I found Bitcoin Cash. I love Bitcoin Cash from the day one of its inception, which is June 6, 2009. It's the same ledger, right? And it's proven itself. Proof of work is worked really brilliant. Their systems can support that and secure that network very well. And now that I know Bitcoin Cash can be like UPI, I will push that for the whole world. And it is not me. Everybody's doing it in places like in Australia and many countries, because they don't have an UPI option. They're already using Bitcoin Cash, and that can be the currency for the masses for its real use case. And those are the things I like it is because at least I understand with my experience, and I'd like to identify that and talk about those things in meetups. You have your own way of evaluating these things. You don't have to just listen to me, but at least by listening to me, you get a perspective to see what else is available out there, which you don't hear from the mainstream media. The mainstream media will talk about just Bitcoin and nothing else. Maybe now about Bitcoin and Ethereum, but nothing more they can understand. So they don't write about it, because I do understand and I believe in these kind of future is going to be paved like how UPI got paved in India. Because if I am right, 4 years ago, when I had some money on my Paytm wallet and I was taking it to the petrol pump, and I was like, oh my God, will you accept it? And they said yes, but they just didn't know how to. And then once that acceptance happened, and with time, like 2 years down the line, everybody loves UPI. Why did it catch on so well? is because it's got a real use case, and the use case is what should be, polished and taken out from this crypto mayhem that's going on with number of coins, with ICOs, IEOs, unlimited information out there, which is confusing people more than what it can give. Is where we come in place. At least you had the right question to ask. I explained about that. It's a very bad space out there for newcomers in today's world, unless they're money lovers. If they see the traders group, they get some answers there. But if you're a crypto lover as a whole, you don't really get some good information out there unless you spend a lot of time, surfing and then searching through this shit that's being posted everywhere. Mostly now, I think most Bitcoin news is latest, and so you miss out on what's been happening previously. When the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency space was very new and it didn't have value, you should have seen the kind of ideas people had, and they were all combined together as a group of crypto lovers, Bitcoin lovers, because the name was Bitcoin then and there was no other name there. uh, but now in the crypto space, it's spread everywhere. The information is distorted, like it's small informations everywhere. It takes longer for you to dig deep and then get that.
Yeah, Vikram, nice information there. I have one question. See, you rightly said right now, getting the proper information is becoming tougher. Like since few years, you have pointed out rightly. Now it's all lot of shit and very few information you get. Whether you go to Twitter or you go to any of the mainstream media, right? You don't get much of the actual things happening. So since there might be a lot of people who are searching for proper information to make some decision, whether it's an investing decision or to work on a project on the crypto space. So what where what do you suggest, like where we get the actual information apart from the documentation of those projects? Where
Okay.
else can we have the active informations?
So that's a good point. Actually, that's a right way to know a little bit of that I'm talking about, because most places where I'm talking about Bitcoin being available for masses is being restricted in major, talk and forums, is because they don't want this Bitcoin to be for the masses, and they want it only for the few elite because if few elite holds it, it's easy to control them. That's how the companies are also built, right? They allow only a few people to come and fund into you. You can only go for an IPO after a certain number of people have supported it. Only small percentage of it, or not the majority, can go to the people, because if it's held by many people, it's difficult to control a company when it's held by many people. Like that in Bitcoin also, they are pushing that narrative of Bitcoin is only for a few. That shouldn't happen. If you see that kind of format on where to find the right answer, we all know Reddit, but in Reddit, where exactly can you find this good answers is Reddit /r/BTC. Not necessarily any other, but /BTC gives you better information. /BTC has got a real conversation that you can have, and that your comment about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency being for the masses can at least stay there and not get deleted like the way other places get deleted. So those kind of things are very nicely available on BTC. That is Reddit /r/BTC. Then if you want, you can go into Bitcoin.com website, and its forum gives you very nice information. There's a lot of great info that is available on that. Then there was just one more pretty good one. I'm not able to get it on top of my mind, but yes, as soon as I know that, I will tell you here. There are many other that I know, of course, I can talk about them, but they're all very well controlled now. Those moderators of that is well controlled. The moderators of that don't allow you to talk about cryptocurrency like the way we talked about it now, like UPI kind of feature. They're only talking about Bitcoin as an asset class, as a trading tool. That's very limiting in information. So I don't want to give those places. But yes, this Reddit one is pretty good. Then there was another one my friend just recently sent me that. Actually, I should look it up and give it to you. That's also one of them. But hey, have you guys followed up the new news on El Salvador? El Salvador is giving out like $30 for those newcomers who come and try out Bitcoin, because it's not easy, right? For just because the country made it legal doesn't mean that it's easy for people to just jump in and then use their Bitcoin. They have to teach them, and people should use it like the way it should be used. So They're helping people understand, and for the beginners to come in and join, they're giving some $30 and all. Not bad. Federal Bank is
Yeah,
supposed to
not
after that.
yeah.
True that. So even other countries have also done it in a certain level. I don't know if you guys know. Mining is completely legal in Venezuela now. So if you mine, you can legally buy the hardware and then sit and mine, and government will support you for the electricity and everything. So if those who didn't know about it, yes, it's happening in Venezuela. There is a small catch there. The catch is actually a win-win for both the government and the people. But a lot of people don't understand that. So I can explain on that. What has happened in this mining is, mining has got two ways to mine. If you have great hardware support, you can mine straight away from your hardware by connecting directly to the network. And by doing that, you're also competing with other computers. You may get lucky. Suddenly, if you get lucky, depending on the power, if you have very powerful systems, then you may get lucky once a day, right? If you're getting once a day, then you get that full 6.5 Bitcoin, 6.25 Bitcoins of the protocol, which that's what you're supposed to get as an incentive for every one block. So you may get that. But if you join a pool mine, in a pool mining, you're joining somebody else who are pretty big. And when you join them, collectively with your power and their power together, you guys go mine in the space. And when you get your winnings of that incentive, you get divided accordingly. Say you provided 20% of the power to the network, to this mining pool, and the mining pool already had 80%, and they both together went and mined and got 5 Bitcoins. You equally get 4 to that guy who provided 80% and 1 Bitcoin to you who provided 20%. So you get more dividends in regular feature if you go to a pool than if you mine solo. When you mine solo, it's a little hard to mine. You may not get lucky sometimes for a long time, and you may just shut down before you got your dividend, maybe, or your incentive. So that may happen. But in pool mining, you constantly get dividends because in a pool, it's a big players. They're always getting some Bitcoin winnings, and this will get divided to you according to your ratio of power supplied. So this is your pool mining and your solo mining. This is the explanation I gave. Is because when Venezuela said they're legalizing mining, the only instruction that they gave was if you're mining, you have to use our mining pool software, which makes good because then government gets their cut by everybody in their country mining it through their software. So the government as Venezuela can mine with a bigger power. When you're mining with bigger power collectively, you mine better. You make maybe making 10 to 15% more Bitcoins, and that 10 to 15% more Bitcoins is going to the public also as more in returns. So they both are winning. Even if Venezuela government caps that, say 10% is capped, maybe because of the software that you're going through the software, whatever you win, 10% has to be given to the government. But they're because they're providing that software, they are making you win more and also collecting you that little from you. So it's a win-win situation for everyone, and that's a great news. If you don't hear that as much, if you see in the public domains, because Venezuela has been looked down upon by the US, that all the media are helping that happen. That's why we don't get this kind of nice information that's going around. And even on Iran, actually, for that matter, Iran has been doing deals with global companies, global countries, companies with Bitcoin starting since 2013. In Bitcoin.com magazine, it was documented that in Russia and Iran, two companies, one from Russia and one from Iran, were doing Bitcoin trade to help themselves with products that is not easily available, with global with trades with USD, and also they were making use of a facility that is brand new, which is Bitcoin. And these kind of news is not available, but it is going on. Bitcoin acceptance and the adoption is happening in many verticals that are not a lot of them are explained or talked about by the mainstream. So yeah, I'm glad El Salvador has gone ahead, and I heard there was another one also was looking into it and put out in their parliament. Was this Paraguay or some other country, uh, which is also very keen about cryptocurrencies now?
I'd like to add into your point, Vikram. Can I?
Atul, go ahead. What were you saying? I'm sorry, you couldn't hear.
Yeah, I'd like to add into the point where the $30. Like one side, people might be thinking that, "Arey, what is this $30 they get one person? What will they make money out of it?" But on the second hand, where people once they have that $30 of Bitcoin, right, they want to know about it. They want to research. They want to find out what it's going to do, what's going to happen, what can we do with it. So that way, even if around 20 to 30% of the country, gets awareness and starts using Bitcoin, then automatically the rest will adopt and follow. So that move people are not able to understand because they see only the $30 and not the future investment. So that's what I'd like to add.
No, very good point that you added. That $30 will help them hold on to that wallet, not delete that app. Then hold on to it. When the price change happens, then they can see on a real time basis the price is fluctuation, because the fluctuation is there is why the interest is there. A lot of times people say, oh, Bitcoin is fluctuating too much, I don't like it. I said 90% of the people like Bitcoin is because of this fluctuation. That's why they're trading. Otherwise, they would have never traded. If it was in a simple line of no price change, nobody would have been interested in it. Yes, that can help them hold on to that wallet and that $30 worth of Bitcoin for long. And then eventually, if which is going to happen, which is this year's bull run is waiting to come, when suddenly that bull run happens and their $30 is 300, then nobody's going to stop them from using crypto, because you see it live in your own hands that you can now sell that $300 worth of crypto, maybe part of it, which is $100, and take $100 away out of it and spend that $100 and probably buy some food and things. That's it. Now you are a lover of Bitcoin. You will never ever go back because you saw that Bitcoin gained and it took the money and you spent it. Those things, once it happens, that feature just doesn't leave you now, and you will be sucked by the Bitcoin system, which is all good, because every human being in this world should experience nice products out there and have the feat like have the easiness to go and use that. Not shouldn't be just for the few rich. Any of the latest news that's about Bitcoin that's going on you want to talk about? What else is latest on?
China banning mining.
That's not new. That's 8 years old, mate. China banning Bitcoin has been happening since 8 years. Every 6, 8
Yeah.
months, a year, they keep doing that. I'll tell you a nice story about China ban. Okay, so this is happening from a long time, like 2013 onwards, when the price rise of Bitcoin happened to $1,200. That was a very big jump in 2013. Everybody's government was like shaken. They were like, "What is this digital format of some stupidity that people sit and play on their phones is actually gaining in value to up to $1,200?" Is what their mindset was, and that's how they started, looking into Bitcoin. And of course, Chinese government also started looking into Bitcoin, and they realized there's a lot of people in their country love Bitcoin and follow Bitcoin. In China, what had happened was, in China, before even Bitcoin was released, there was something called QQ. That was a social media and a payments platform that they were using. It's digitally moving value around for people. And that was a centralized system. But when Bitcoin came along, it was easily understood by a lot of Chinese that a system like QQ, but here you have Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is decentralized, means the power is back to people, and we hold the power of this money. No, collectively, one person who's centrally holding these Bitcoins is holding the experience of full power. It's all us. So they loved that and they went ahead with that idea. So of course, when China realized that the price also went up, then they realized, okay, this is going to do something to our country. We may have to start talking about it. So they started talking about banning Bitcoin since then. And in 14, 15, what had happened was Baidu is like Google for Bitcoin for Chinese. This particular platform, Baidu, started accepting Bitcoin, because what Baidu said was anybody who wants to experience buy, sell, and products and economics on Baidu can now pay in Bitcoin, because they saw Bitcoin transactions and Bitcoin adoption was pretty much growing. So when they said that, they thought a lot of people will pay in Bitcoin. But actually, very few people, 6 months down the line, when Baidu started accepting to end of 6 months, only 1.7 Bitcoins was received by them as in payments. So they didn't receive enough. When they realized that, they actually stopped the Bitcoin support. They said, okay, it's okay, we're not going to support Bitcoin, because very little interest from people to spend. Why that is happening? In two reasons I can give you. In China, there are a lot of other ways to pay very easily. Same as India. If you have Bitcoin and if you have UPI, you would prefer paying in UPI, not in Bitcoin, because you want to secure your Bitcoin. It was hard to buy in the first place, and it's an asset class and it can grow in value, unlike your rupees. So you would go ahead and pay in rupees. I wouldn't say people will think so much, but they pay in rupees is because it's easy to pay. That's what is to happen in China. They had many other facilities to pay with, so they went ahead and paid with those, not with Bitcoin. So less Bitcoin was accepted by or collected by Baidu. When Baidu shut that down because there was less interest, media took it in a different way, or they pushed it like that in a different way. What was the different narrative of that was that China is banning Bitcoin just because Baidu stopped. So they used that idea of saying that, oh, Baidu stopped, and now Baidu stopped is because China is banning Bitcoin. Can you see that resemblance? Like that they've done many times, even now, because Chinese government is not allowing any mining happening in their country, which mining places are buying electricity from their government, they are stopping those. Now the government has to allow you to buy that amount of electricity, is only then you can do mining of that scale, right? So your buying capacity for the electricity has been cut down, reduced. So because of that, you have to automatically shut your computers down, and the mining had to be stopped. But a lot of miners do it for solar and renewables, so they are continuing to do. It's not necessarily completely stopped. So this is also another news that people are taking use of and publishing it in China, saying China is going to ban Bitcoin. Dude, it's not a never ban Bitcoin. It's because Chinese people are bigger than Chinese government. There are 1.7 billion people, and I think 1.7 billion people love Bitcoin. Only maybe one or two or a few communist uh, governments leaders may not be liking Bitcoin. So because the overall is controlled by those few Chinese, top leaders. If they don't like Bitcoin, they can do whatever through their media. But otherwise, the majority, the masses love Bitcoin, love cryptocurrencies, love decentralized format of payments, settlements, asset class. Who's not going to love it, right? Once you know about it. So that way, it'll continue to happen. Small news that you hear about with China banning, it's just it's fake news, I would say, to start with, because even if it has 1% of truth in it, 99% is false, and they've been doing it since time and again. So I would consider that as fake news again. Yeah, so the Chinese Baidu news was used as media propaganda. So like that, many things are not being explained clearly in the media, and then they just make whatever narrative they want, which suits their adoption. Means if they have a narrative of this band, their link is going to be clicked more on, and more people will see their information, right? Their portal. So that's like a game that they're playing. The big losers are the masses. So I hope we are in this talking about it and have word of mouth to others also from us, from our group here, and you guys will go individually talk about it to explain the real reality of cryptocurrency that's going around the world. Yeah, guys, I'm sorry that I had a call from someone back to back. I think this may be something important. So I'm just messaging them while I'm still here. You guys have any question, go ahead and shoot that. I'm happy to hear and answer that in just a second. Yeah, so that's about it. That's what is happening in the Bitcoin space and cryptocurrency space. I can talk a little bit about the Indian scenario in the crypto space. India is loving crypto. We know that for sure because Nirmala Sitaraman, who's the finance minister, she says crypto experiments are open in India. We allow crypto experiments to happen. Is because she's a lovely person. I love her. Uh, uh, she even compares it with UPI, and in this particular conference, and she was part of this what panel team, and with all a lot of other bankers, and she was asked this question: what about Bitcoin? What about cryptocurrency? So she says, yeah, we are very ahead in payments dunya. And this is like, she quotes us payments dunya because she's from South India, right? She loves to add some Hindi to it. She's like, clearly, with UPI, we have been ahead in the payments dunya in India. Why shouldn't we allow cryptocurrency experiments also to happen? Great answer. I don't think she could have said anything better than this, especially when Indian government has taken a stand of cryptocurrency as wait and watch policy from 2014. We are in the right space. Only RBI jumped its gun and then went ahead and banned for a little while the banks to support. But of course, Supreme Court took that away from them. So the RBI must be feeling small, because even though they think they are the biggest because they hold a lot of money, now they're feeling like a small person because Supreme Court told them to just shut up and keep your hands to yourself. Don't put your hands in Bitcoin and tell them people that is illegal. When those kind of things happen, you know where your country is going and how your people on the top are thinking. Very clearly, they're thinking about people. They're thinking it should be allowed. Cryptocurrency is open in India. We are open for open cryptos for experiments. I love it. I love these things because we are decentralized compared to any other country that is available out there. And they call themselves democratic, and it's a lie, especially the US, UK, Europe, Japan. Like, how openly they lie is a joke to me. That they say, oh, we are democratic, we give equal rights to everybody to come and vote. No, dude, you don't. I have experienced both UK and in India. India has better democracy than any other place that I have been, especially in this Western countries that they bolts their thing saying that. And India has the gold standard of elections. No other country has that kind of standards that's maintained for elections. Their elections is really stupid, like the way Americans just showed the stupidity, that they just went ahead and started accepting bail or mail voting, which they had never tested, and then they used that to just throw Bitcoin, sorry, or Trump away. They wanted somebody more, you know, more controllable, like Biden. Whatever they were saying, he has to explain. He should take information and then just speak, not have his own mind. So is what the kind of people they like, a follower to be on the top. So we are not like that. We, at least in India, we don't put followers on the top. We put leaders on the top through a democracy. And I think those kind of leaders are speaking their mind very clearly. We can hear from them, like Nirmala Sitaraman saying cryptocurrency is open for experiments in India. Amazing, amazing. What do you guys think about that? Anyone has a say?
See, that's a booster, Vikram, from Nirmala Sitaraman, because for anybody to invest, even now every day my friends will be asking me. Nowadays, because Bitcoin is falling, people are getting interested, right? So they want to, get into the space, which is good thing. At least they will start learning and see why Bitcoin, because after, see, in UK, US and all, it used to make sense. Like it makes sense because if you see the banking system there, the amount of interest they provide was very less. And so is the case with India now, right? Like since few years,
Yeah.
We are not getting like 14%
Yes.
whole time. Now I don't think we'll be getting back to that again, right? So that being said, only thing with coming to crypto was RBI telling like we are not making it legal, or like there were a lot of newses where RBI wanted to ban it, and kind of whether it's actual news or it's just a media created hype. So coming from a senior person in the government like Nirmala Sitaraman, it does give a lot of confidence for the people who are holding crypto as well as who want to get into the crypto world.
Very rightly said. That's right. I think these kind of people have to openly, without fear, speak their mind, and nobody else could have done it better than Nirmala Sitaraman. If you were a follower mind who was sitting on as finance minister, then you wouldn't openly talk about it like the way she did. then you have the fear that, oh, I have to go and listen to somebody else, right? What if they say whatever I said is right or wrong? So that kind of fearful people should not be even our leaders. They should be just thrown out and then be only the voters, not stand for any election, stand there and try and, because if they cannot even openly talk their mind to us in global platforms where they go and talk in UN and other IMF meetings and things like that, they will again not say their mind and then very shy away from supporting our own people and our own ideas. If you shy away like that, then in global platform, we will look stupid with these stupid followers that we had as ministers first. One of the classic example is that guy who spent time in jail now as finance minister, ex-finance minister. Like those kind of people, if you send them abroad to speak on behalf of India, what are they going to speak? Bullshit, nothing. At least somebody like Nirmala Sitaraman, when she goes abroad, she knows what's going on. If she's confident about some things, which is which clearly shows that she has a deep understanding. If you don't have deep understanding, you would not say those words of saying crypto is open for experiments. What does she even mean? Is what most of the media is questioning. What does she even mean? Because they don't understand. The media is a follower media. Media looks for who's paying more money to us to print what. They will never print her, and they will never published her lines as openly as freely as they would do if somebody paid money. That's the sad part, where media and all is pretty much controlled only for the sake of those who pay money. uh, I'm hoping that things will change with from here, with blockchain being the platform for everything tomorrow. What does blockchain do? Blockchain, to start with, secures your wealth and secures your interest. Clearly, it is shown in Bitcoin. If Bitcoin can hold that kind of value, that means clearly blockchain has proved itself that it can secure that kind of value. $500 billion can be secured on one blockchain of Bitcoin. Can any other platform like that secure some kind of value like that? No one. So blockchain can be the platform now for tomorrow for everything else. Voting, for bids, for media, for payments, for distribution of wealth in governments, those kind of things. Everywhere we would like Bitcoin blockchain or blockchain to be used. We are already working on those kind of platforms through Bitcoin Cash blockchain. Like we just spoke earlier on this meeting, that when you're testing and trying something, if it's easier and cheaper to test, we will be testing at a better level, and Bitcoin Cash allows you to do that, and we are doing it already. Blockchain will be the transformation platform. Which country accepts that kind of blockchain and everything goes on the blockchain will be a successful country, because today's competing with countries mean whoever prints more money has the lead, and the ones who print more money has the lead also and the power also, that's why they're able to go and print more. We as Indians, we just play very safe. We are very quiet. We're not aggressive in format of where the global economics also work. Indians are not aggressive to go and do things. With blockchain, we will prove ourselves that we don't have to be aggressive to do the right things. And we're starting with our blockchain projects so that governments also can take some interest in understanding what we're building, and maybe take some cues and maybe take some experiments from us, and use it in the real commerce and real places.
Just to add on, China accounts for more than 80% of world's mining. China has seen the highest number of millionaires for the last crypto run. Okay? India comes next to China in terms of population, but in terms of mining, we are like still in the embryonic stage. So, I think hearing Nirmala Sitaraman's statement, I think more and more Indians should be encouraged to venture into mining, investing into cryptos, come up with a passive income at these testing times. And another good scope I see for Bitcoin is if Bitcoin can be used for remittances, officially used for forex remittances. That is where we typically lose out big chunks of money in terms of percentage. So in one of the articles I read, what I read is for every forex remittance, we lose out around 3 to 6%.
Oh yeah,
on an
very
average.
easy, very easy.
That's huge amount.
That is a huge amount. Yes, you're 100% right on that. I think you made those points very clear. The use case of these cryptos are pretty huge. We should allow these things to happen. If we didn't, we will never be able to, understand. To start with the mining power point of view that you mentioned, 80% of the mining is happening in China. That's very true. The reason for it is very clear. The reason that is 80% of the hardware, or more than 80% of the hardware, which is doing Bitcoin mining, they are called ASIC hardware, application specific integrated circuits. These are manufactured only in China. Because they're manufactured only in China, Chinese get to use them maximum. Because if we have to get it to India, also we have to go through customs, right? I have experience mining myself purely with ASIC back in 2013, long back. I guess if I tell you the story is like different to what you guys must have heard. So my mining capacity was 230 gigahashes. 230 gigahashes at that time was exactly 1/1000 of the network power also. How did we know that we were exactly 1/1000 of the network power? No calculation was needed. Straight away, when we ran our 230 gigahashes for 24 hours, we made 3.4 bitcoins. And 3.4 bitcoins is exactly 1/1000th of the Bitcoin network give out for that year. That year, that Bitcoin were giving out some 25 bitcoins per 10 minutes and a total of 3,400 bitcoins for a day. In that 3,400, if we got 3.4, oh, so clearly we were exactly 1% of the network power. So that to find out, we were very excited that we could figure out that kind of thing then. But we did not last. We lasted only for 6 months. We had to shut down because within 6 months, our mining capacity from 3, it had dropped to zero point 0.1. And zero point 0.1 was very little to mine and sustain ourselves in terms of the electricity cost and the mining cost that was going on. So we shut down. The reason the costs are very high for Indians to mine is because Indian electricity expense is very high. We will be paying high fee to mine in terms of electricity, and also the hardware cost is very high because by the time we receive the hardware, it's already late by a few months. So sometimes what happens in China is when they manufacture this hardware, before they send it, they mine it themselves, and they get maximum out of it then, and then they sell their hardware. So we're losing out on that because we don't manufacture hardware and we don't get cheap electricity. Mining is not necessarily the key element in our country, but we can build crypto related platforms like technology wise, a lot more in depth platforms, like including tokens that we have launched from India. Many Indians have launched good tokens. Indian government can support this mining thing and nodes running a node. Maybe Indian government can get into it themselves and run this. But for Indians, it's not the game mining only. I'm talking about in crypto space, there's many things that you can do, but the mining space is not the game for Indians right now because the way Indians pay a very high fee for your electricity and the hardware is not available. Of course, like I said, China makes the maximum hardware, right? There is other countries also which makes, like Taiwan, Japan, and South Korea also make some hardware, but they're not as much as hardware as China can produce. So that way, of course, China gets advantage to mine more. But just let you know that mining does not mean you're controlling Bitcoin. Even if you have 80% of mining in one country, cannot give that power to that country. Absolutely zero power to any country just because they hold bigger mining capacity. Only the new minted coins may go there more. But the majority of the coins are already minted. By 2012 itself, 10.5 million Bitcoins out of 21, half the million 21 million Bitcoin, which is 10 and a half, was given out before even mid of 2012. And by today, in today's date, almost 19 million is given out already. And whatever that you get is very little by the miners. And the new minted coins, of course, is going in China, but they are, like I said, a small number of coins only. The earlier adopters, the earlier lovers of Bitcoin hold a lot more Bitcoins and they hold majority of it.
Vikram, hi Vikram, this is Kaushik here.
Yeah, Kaushik.
So just want to mention a couple of points.
Kaushik, you may have to speak a little louder.
Oh, okay. Are you able to hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So just a couple of points. The thing is, this is the first time I'm attending this, so I think thanks for that.
You're welcome, man.
It's a great platform. Regarding the point about Nirmala Sitharaman, right? I mean, just trying to play the devil's advocate here. When I read that statement by Nirmala Sitharaman, I don't know if the media had already manipulated it or not, but what I understood was that she's open to she's open to experiments. But I also sort of got the feeling that she was confusing blockchain and Bitcoin.
Dude, she's not confusing anybody with blockchain, Bitcoin. I have seen that interview.
I'm not able to hear you. I think you're muted.
Yes, yes, you're right. I was muted. So I think she's not necessarily confusing people as much as the media themselves are getting confused with it. She's clear about it. When she's clear about it, means I'll give you that idea. The video is available on my Twitter handle. You can go down probably a month or two behind, and you will see the video. The video was made by CNBC. CNBC's panel had asked that question, and in that panel, there are many other bankers also around that. So in her answer says we are ahead in terms of payments dunya with UPI, because she knows and I know very clearly that UPI like feature is not there in majority of the countries around the world. Only like India and Sweden maybe uses, and China uses some of this kind of payment system, which helps people do payments easily. So if she's comparing it to that payments world, and she's saying like we have payments dunya and we lead in payments dunya, we should allow crypto also to be experimented in India. So in that clear sense, she's looking forward to crypto being the payments tool of the world, because she knows crypto can do it for easier and cheaper way than even UPI can do for India. So like that, she has a clear understanding. She's not confusing. I am sure the article that you have read that the media has confused you for that, or maybe they themselves are confused and written that.
Right, right. That's what I suspected, because she said something. She said one thing I remember when she said things like I should, Bitcoin, or like blockchain. So yeah, probably you're right. I mean, I think the media confused thing.
Yeah, they would have done
The
it.
second point I just want to
Go on. Second point.
yeah. The second point that I wanted to actually quickly state was this. I mean, this is just a small actually incident that happened a few weeks back. One of our customers, he's just a high net worth individual, and he's sort of roughly about 65 years of age, and he had few lakhs, like 50 lakhs, 60 lakhs to spare, and he says, "Hey, Kaushik, I heard about all this Bitcoin, this crypto. I want to invest. I'm seeing all this high rise. I want to invest." And then, I mean, he said, "Okay, now how do I invest?" Then I directed him to some exchanges, which is actually one way of starting off. But then I also told him that, look, ultimately you should move your things to a hardware wallet, because I mean, if you're
More
dealing
secure.
very small amounts, that's probably okay. But otherwise, you should move your things to a hardware wallet. And then he started asking me, what's a hardware wallet? Then I gave him a sort of a small crash course on exactly how, to be all safe. But then he brought about a very valid point, which I think is which I felt was a good actually startup opportunity. He said, look, Kaushik, I'm not a techie like you. I just want, I mean, I'm in it only for the games. And if I have, for instance, if I go to any of, I mean, if I want to trade in stock, right, ICICI Direct or anything like that, I can actually very easily trade. I understand the things, and they don't go into the details, because that's obviously centralized.
Yes.
But here in this case, a decentralized thing, he said the complete risk was on me. If I forget something, then I lose that entire money, and then my family doesn't get it, blah blah blah. So I said, yes, very true. So then I could sense that there was a lot of hesitancy. So I was just wondering if a few of us brainstorm and think about how we could make this experience very good
Easy.
in a decentralized way, to make it appealing to the non-tech savvy. To basically dumb it down.
No, you're right. You're right.
I think that's a good thing. But I don't have any actually clear thoughts as of now. But I would love to actually brainstorm further. That actually like me.
You're absolutely right. I think it's an easy way for people to learn about this. Securing their own coin is very much in need right now. It's a need of the hour. Absolutely a brilliant point from you, Kaushik. I guess we all doing our own ways. Like word of mouth is a very good way to help people around. There is nothing in place, like you said. We have small things in place, which is a crash course in cryptocurrency, course 101, including this meetup and everywhere. If you bring in that person, maybe while we're talking, he can shoot his small doubts, and then the rest of the main doubts, which is simple to understand, can be explained by you, things like that. We're all doing it from our own ways. Collectively together, like you said, to have a major drive to bring in non-crypto enthusiasts or enthusiasts but non-crypto knowledge people onto one platform and support them is a great platform. I think I will keep that. This will be my take from this meetup. I think I'll look into that, maybe think about it, brainstorm this with a few other friends of mine, and see if we can come up with something like that. It was very much a need of the hour thing. You're very rightly said, because now that the jump happens of the price again, and a lot of people will be interested, they shouldn't just get sucked by the centralized systems and then not teach them anything, and also give them like, at least from us, then we can give them some option to try it both ways. Maybe they secure some of it in a decentralized and non-custodial way, and they learn from it too. Yes, thanks for that, Q. I'll take that and think about it a little bit more in depth.
Thanks, Vikram. Thanks, Vikram. I would love to be a part of that. So I'm a techie. I'm an engineer from Institute of Science. So I love to dabble in all the. I hold crypto for a few years. So yeah, I've seen the benefits of hodling, and I've seen the benefits of blockchain. So and I've also written some bit of code to basically talk to blockchain exchanges and all of that. So yeah. So the thing is, if you want to brainstorm further, yeah, I would be happy to.
Will be very nice, very nice. I'll actually leave my contact here, just so that if somebody wants to just shoot me a small message, we can get in touch with these kind of features.
Awesome. Yeah, sure. Thanks.
Vikram, one question. Yesterday, I was trying to trade on WazirX, but I see this with the WazirX platform that, sometimes UPIs of the banking transfers, right? They don't honor the transactions. They are kind of disabled on and off. I was trying to Google and figure out, they've done it in the past 2 to 3 months, sometimes honoring the transaction. Sometimes, they don't support the feature. Is it something going on?
I couldn't hear the last bit. Is it something going on?
Meaning, is it there is a support in future is very, very strong, or what's the correct issues?
Okay, so see, the thing about this is, sorry, Madan, let me just finish this quick question. The support for every exchange comes from different institutions, different support systems. Like the banking support system is one of them. For them, is the main one. If they are not stable, the exchange themselves are not stable. And also, WazirX has gone too big, too fast. They should have taken some easy steps to support everybody and secure everybody's interest first before becoming that big. Maybe that's why they are thing. But I'm thinking, even if it's not WazirX, somebody else will come up slow and steady, like CoinDCX is coming up. They all are big exchanges. They'll eventually be able to help. I don't see any real threat. If not them, somebody else will be there to support us.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, man.
So Vikram, it was on similar lines actually. That's why I thought of adding up with that question.
Yeah.
It's like we on and off have this issue. It's not new, right? You remember from the Unocoin days, these transactions got halted for some time, and even the exchanges were halted, right? It's nothing new. So have you, being in that space, are you seeing any improvements there? Because it is on and off. It's not like they're completely stopping it. They stop it for a few days, again it gets started, and that. Like what is happening in that space? Mostly all of the platforms definitely need some kind of money transfer
support system. Yes. So I think it's a teething issue. It is something is inevitable. It's the beginning of this crypto acceptance space. 1% of the world knows about crypto. I don't think even 1% of the world holds crypto. So when the crypto holdings become 50% and above people holding crypto, by the time, I would say all these teething issues will be over. In the beginning, because the banks who are supporting, the exchanges, and their support to the exchanges is one of the majority of the support. Because if there is no INR in and out, it's going to be very difficult for an exchange to flourish. they as banks know that power that they have, that they should be like the majority support. And if they fluctuate, or if they go back and forth like the way they're doing now, it's going to be hard for the exchanges. This is something which will happen, and the big banks are the only ones who are doing it, not necessarily all the banks. Just to keep you in mind, keep you in check, there are many bank accounts that you can hold open with different other banks, which will support you through on through. They may not be as huge as a Kotak Bank is, where they can support you with those simple and elaborate features. But otherwise, the banking support is there. If you look into your limits and if you look into your policies properly, then you may be understanding that you can do things differently but still flourish. But most exchanges are going straight down, taking a deep dive into big amounts, allowing big volumes of trading to happen. So this is threatening the big institutions, right? So that's why the institutions are, not supporting you full on. But if you take baby steps and then act according to your teething standard, then you probably will survive. Is what my take is on this.
And one more point is for those who are facing issues with payments, be it deposits or withdrawals, perhaps one solution would be to use P2P. So in P2P, you don't have to depend directly on the payment gateway. You can directly transfer to the end customer.
Yeah.
Now, most of them offer only USDT. So maybe point of entry could be USDT and then transfer to other currencies. And surprisingly, there is a heavy volume in USDT versus other currencies. Same way, if you're already holding non-USDT currency, you can transfer to USDT on P2P, sell it, and the amount is credited to your account.
True that, because it's coming from another individual. Yeah. Your P2P.
Yeah, that is true, but there is only one additional thing, right? Even this is like for the new entrants, especially if you are into crypto space, then you won't mind shelling another 5-6 rupees extra, because you know the value of the coin will increase over time. But if you see when I talk to my friends, relatives and all who are coming to the crypto space, they're pretty new. They want to invest some like 1,000 rupees just to try it and test it out, or 5,000 rupees, whatever they can lose, right? And they want to get into the field. They see this thing, right? We have a dollar rate of 72 rupees, but when they want to buy it P2P, it will be 80 rupees.
Even more
and when
sometimes.
You directly buy an exchange, it is 78 rupees or 79 rupees.
Yeah, just to add on, that's a valid point. India and always USDT trades at a premium compared to USD. Okay, that is given. That's mainly because even now I have personally bought USDT in abroad also. Even abroad exchanges, if we bring USDT, there is an entry cost. Through cards and all, if we pay 4%, 3.5% gets charged when we from fiat currency when we enter into cryptocurrency. So typically that kind of markup inflation would be there. Okay, and this difference will keep changing. So whenever the market is falling, you see that the difference between USDT and USD increases. When the market is on the uptrend, the difference reduces drastically. So this is kind of volatile.
Yeah, that's true.
It's true, but explaining this to a new entrant is really tough, right? Because they will be comparing with what is the dollar value today.
That is a systemic issue, right? We cannot escape that.
In terms of India, Indian market is premium already.
My experience.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, my experience with actually this P2P, I mean, yeah, what you said was absolutely right. I mean, I have an HDFC account, so HDFC, even after the Supreme Court crashing the RBI ban, is still not accepting this. If I try to deposit into WazirX or anything, it just says no. But so then when I started using P2P, I mean, initially I was doing it for smaller amounts, just sort of experimenting with WazirX. Then when I got the comfort, I said, okay, let me do about 800 USD. 800 USD, to my luck, one guy wanted to sell 800 USD. Okay. And then I figured I can't use P2P for 800 USD. Simple. It has to be split into multiple sellers because the bank imposes a restriction as soon as you add the payee that you can't transfer more than 25,000 or something for the first
First
24
time.
hours.
Yes.
And then you don't have an option to do IMPS. IMPS limits are a little bit lower. You can't even set an NEFT for a future date. So in all angles, it's blocked. So I wrote to WazirX support and told them this problem. I attached them my screenshots and said, look, hey, this is what I want to do. But then, of course, they haven't got back. But this is, I think, a bug from their end, which, not a bug, but this is something which they need to actually resolve. Right? For smaller amounts, it works, but for bigger amounts, it will be a problem.
I exactly said that in the past. I said, if you hold your limits right, then there'll be a smooth transaction between all the exchanges and the banks. But as soon as the limits go up, when you're doing about 800 USDT worth, so then automatically you will see the restrictions that's there from the banks, from everybody comes into your face. So there is some limitations. If you see, Indian government is actually working towards opening these limitations. From the 1st of August, we all know, I don't know if you guys know about it or not, RTGS is becoming 24/7, like IMPS. You can do RTGS up to 10 lakh rupees, which is 5 times more value than what we were doing it before, which is very good, because for the inflation that has happened last year, when last year government is gone, the US government has gone ahead and printed 30 trillion. That inflation hyperinflating the market of the US and eventually trickles down to India also. By the time we should feel that we should be able to send at least 4-5 lakh rupees easily, this 4-5 lakh rupees business will be equivalent to the 2 lakh rupees business via IMPS that you could send. So now IMPS is only limited to 2 lakhs, and the 2 lakh worth of the value is very little. It's hyperinflated now. So you should increase more money to be used by the public easily, instantly. So they are moving the 2 lakhs to 10 lakhs, which is really good. I think that way the government is also working towards it. But if you, by all this conversation, did you realize who the daddy of all is? The daddy of all is the owners of the banks. They think they're the government. They think they are bigger than India. That is the problem with the banks today. If Supreme Court is the biggest authority in India, and if they say, no, shut up and open accounts for Bitcoin exchanges, and you still want to stop it, that means you are arrogant. HDFC wants to be arrogant against the Indian government itself. That means just because the little pocket money that they have, which is good enough to run a bank, they think that pocket money is bigger than India. Like, how stupid can people get? The HDFC people, if they're listening to this conversation ever, I have a video YouTube going on. I'm recording this video. Eventually, if they ever listen to it, guys, just because you have a little money doesn't mean that you're the god of the world or India or of the people or of the Supreme Court of India. Try and be in your place and then just do your job as running a bank. Don't try and do something beyond the bank and stop people's freedom and sovereignty to go ahead and do technological advancements. So that problem that you have from these banks come from New York, because New York Federal Bank has control over these big banks and these big people, big rich guys, and they control them through the secret societies, and they screw their ass and probe their behind if they don't listen to them. So these things happen, dude. It's the connection that's going on. Well, I guess, like I said, if we stay in our limits, we will all experience a great deal of cryptocurrency. Hopefully that will help the masses to get in, if not the rich class.
Right. Yeah, thanks for that. So one other question that I had was with this RTGS thing that you mentioned, right, from 1st of August.
Yeah.
So if I understand that right, does it mean that even during the lock-in, not the lock-in, sorry, the cooling down period, right, there is that 1 day or something after I add a new pay. Am I still allowed to do RTGS for 50,000, 1 lakh or 2 lakhs or something? No,
that will stay as the usual limit that is there, because some when you add beneficiary, takes about half an hour for them to be legally used as payment beneficiaries. And in some places you can do one-time transaction of 5 to 50,000 rupees. That is also there. So with all this, when your beneficiaries become good enough time, like more than 1 day of beneficiary being added and he's with you, then you can use your RTGS limits on that person. But the remaining, which is limited to use in the beginning of adding your beneficiaries, or limits of the bank itself that you have without subsidy, without being beneficiary, you can send some amounts. Those limits will continue to stay by the banks, but the bank now has to open doors for up to 10 lakh rupees to send and receive in weekends and after banking hours. Because before RTGS was only for banking hours. Now, luckily, it is open for all 24 bar 7.
Okay. Got one more point is RTGS, the minimum limit is 2 lakh rupees.
That's IMPS is 2 lakhs.
RTGS.
RTGS was 10.
Lower.
Lower is 2 lakhs. Yes.
Entry point is 2 lakhs.
Yeah.
Yes, correct. So only if it's 2 lakhs or above, we can use RTGS. That's
Yes.
one point. Another point is about the P2P, like one of, I think it was Kaushik, right, who explained the issue with higher amounts. So what we have seen is in other countries, the way P2P is used is in such a way that like we have a watch list for stocks, right? We handpick few stocks and we keep monitoring them, right? Similarly, it seems even in P2P, certain sellers or users are kind of shortlisted over a period of time. While you keep transacting over a period of time, we get familiar with the sellers who are very regular, typically like merchants.
Okay.
So once you get familiarized, we add them in our recipient list, and if they are already available, we can transfer instantly.
Right. Absolutely. That's true. So, of course, for me, I mean, in my personal experience, that has never happened for me. I mean, I have traded quite a few times, but but that has never happened for me. But the point that you raised is very fair. So if the seller accepts UPI, then absolutely no problem. But in most of the cases, the sellers do not want to expose their phone numbers, so they just give their bank account
details,
details.
yeah.
IMPS. So IMPS, you have obviously those restrictions, but in the rare scenarios that they say IMPS or UPI, then of course no limits apply. So
Yeah. So well,
and just
go on.
one last point, Vikram. What are your thoughts on this SEC versus Ripple?
So SEC versus Ripple has to happen is because Ripple is centralized. So SEC knows which door to go and knock, and then they have knocked the right door. They have found their founders. They have found the promoters of XRP. They want to now run a case against XRP because they do not like anybody competing with the federal bank's money printing scheme, right? The money printing scheme, federal bank wants to secure it only for themselves. They don't want to allow that kind of system to anybody. XRP just went ahead and did the same thing. They are centralized. They can print how much ever XRP they want. They can flood the market with XRP. The rates may fall, but they can do it. So that's what XRP can do. So of course, if you're competing with federal bank, they're not going to like that. They're going to send SEC behind you, which they did. And eventually, I think by XRP will have to bow down and give up that rights to federal bank also to manage it. That's what happens eventually. All the companies have to bow down and eventually give most of their rights to New York Federal Bank, because they have these meetings in Manhattan where they probe these owners of these companies so that they can take control of these companies and eventually control the public with that. So those kind of systems is in place by them. So they will try and do the same with XRP also. That's because XRP has become popular with the people. Not a lot of people will know the in-depth of who's controlling XRP and what is happening with that. So the US government will go ahead and easily manipulate that. SEC is now probing enough so that they give up that power to the federal bank. That's the bottom which they would like to be done. If not, they would like XRP guys to shut shop and then go home and then tell all the XRP users that there is no more XRP. That can also be possible. So they are, of course, behind them is because you know the difference between XRP and Bitcoin. It's simple. It's Bitcoin is decentralized, XRP is centralized. Clearly, the centralized people can be tracked down and then questioned and probed. Decentralized, who are you going to try? Nobody. Like you and me are just players in the space. So well, yeah, that was a great meeting again, guys. I think we are short of more than 2 hours on the thing. Let's do it for another 5 minutes max, 3 minutes actually for 7, and we can wind it up at 2100. Or, sorry, my bad. It's 1900, 7 o'clock. Actually, it was a pretty good conversation this time. We touched base on a lot of things and understood there was so much more room for development in this space, adoption in this space, and then like the Kaushik also mentioned about educational part in this space to educate the newcomers. It's become really complicated for sure. Newcomers is going to take a long time to learn if they don't get support. So this bull run will also, of course, teach a lot of people. And I think after this bull run, if the price goes up like the way it has shown its potential last time, Bitcoin price going up 20x, 10x from its previous high. That's previous high $20,000, and today it's around what, $30,000 around. So if it touches some $200,000, everybody is going to feel that heat. But I'm sure the Federal Bank in New York will feel that heat, because they're like, oh, this is. And you know what? As another insight to it is, I'm sure guys here, we all understand what is the inflation like, and how if you could just go ahead and print some ridiculous numbers just because you have that kind of paper or computer access to just go and change the numbers and add 30 trillion to your economy, you're hyper inflating, super hyperinflating your economy, including India for that matter, eventually, because India is pushing with 1.3 billion people. We are trying to look at a 5 trillion economy in 3 years, and US just goes ahead and prints like 30 trillion. There is no, you can't even joke about it. They're so stupid. They are so stupid. Like anybody from Federal Bank legally working there, if you're listening to this conversation, listen to my words, read my lips. You are fucking stupid if you really allowed that kind of money printing to happen. So what eventually happens when the printing happens like that? Hyperinflation. Hyperinflation means products price goes up eventually, right? So do you think crypto price also should go up because of this hyperinflation? Well, and it will for sure. So, for its own legal way of growing because of its internal economics, every 4 years, Bitcoin price has to go up, is because Bitcoin goes into halving. The amount that is released into the network is reduced by half every 4 years. So, obviously, the price goes up because it's correcting itself in inflation. So, if that is happening, and regularly, if you see every 4 years, there's a 10x jump, and this year also we will see the 10x jump, which is due to happen in a couple of months. But because of the last years of money printing, that they printed 30% more of the global or the US wealth itself, do you think another 30% should increase on Bitcoin's price? I believe it should. So what I mean by that is, if it is going 10x from its regular format from last year, last bull run to this bull run it should go 13x, 1 3. The reason it should go minimum 13x is because of the inflation to cover the last year's 20 trillion or 30 trillion that they printed. All that does money printing is puts high price on all the commodities in the world, or resources, or the things that we use, everything. So Bitcoin is also a great resource of the world, and that price will also go up. So then, according to that, my prediction of what I said to 200,000 USD may go up to 260,000 USD if it is 13x. So, and if it's for Indians, we may see up to 2 crores. But for sure, I mean, I have many bets around the world, around with many friends of mine, that Bitcoin, I claim to say that it's going to cross 1 crore in Indian rupees. And my friends say, no, it doesn't. I have a big bet that's going on. Before I used to bet only 5 rupees, is because nobody used to honor their bet and paid me, because I was good at it and they were not in terms of crypto knowledge. And now I think my friends think that they are good enough in terms of their knowledge. And my bet against that with them is that I'm saying it is crossing 1 crore, and they're saying it will not cross 1 crore before the end of this year. Well, we can wind up at this, and this is for you guys also. If you wait and see, by the end of this year, will Bitcoin cross 1 crore in Indian rupees? And I think it will, and it should. If it didn't, I will stop using Bitcoin from next year, because it doesn't make sense if it didn't grow that fast.
Yeah.
If it didn't grow that fast.
On a lighter note, Vikram, I think when you start doing those bets with your friends, you start staking. I mean, the main stake should be some Bitcoin.
Well, I cannot make them bet too much, is because they don't know, right? So it's a small amount of money, better than 5 rupees at least, because 5 rupees bet I should joke with guys, because I know they're not going to honor me later. But these ones who are going to honor, I've kept some decent amount price of betting, because I'm ready to give that amount if I lose. And the problem with if it doesn't touch 1 crore is it will not get pace of absorbing the global wealth. If it doesn't absorb the global wealth, that means the market cap of Bitcoin should go, or cryptocurrency should go close to 800 trillion. If it doesn't go, we are at what? At close to some 2 trillion in crypto space, a little more under 2 trillion, some more than 1 trillion. But to get to 800 trillion, if you are too late, we will not be even competing. There is no real need for Bitcoin then. Bitcoin will not become a global player. So that also has to happen with some instant grabbing of wealth into its market cap. So with all that in mind, let's hope and see what the price is going to be soon.
Yep.
Okay, it's a brilliant
Thanks,
conversation.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks,
It was a
Madam.
nice
Thanks, Vashi. Yeah, it was a great
Thank
one.
you. Yeah.
Okay, guys. Bye.
I'll send you an email. On
Yeah.
that.
Look forward to that, Kaushik.
Thank you.
Bye, mate.
Bye.
See you.
Hello, Vicky.
Hi, Shiva.
Hi, ಮಗ ಹೇಗಿದ್ಯೋ?
ಆರಾಮ್ ಕಣೋ. ಏನೋ ಇವತ್ತು ಅಂಗಡಿ ಓಪನ್ ಇದೆಯೋ ನಿಂದು?
ಇತ್ತು ಕಣೋ, up to 2 o'clock ವರೆಗೂ.
ಓ ಹಂಗಂದ್ರೆ ವೀಕೆಂಡ್ ಫುಲ್ ಡೇ ಲಾಕ್ಡೌನ್ ಅಂದ್ರು 2 ಗಂಟೆ ತನಕ ಅಲೋಡ್ ಇದೆಯಾ ನಾಳೆನು? ಓ ನೀನ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್, ನೀನು ಅವತ್ತು ಹೇಳಿದೆ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ ಹೇಳೋ. ಹಾ ಹೌದು ಓಕೆ. ಹೌದೌದು ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಇವಾಗ ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕಂತ ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಅವನು? ಓಕೆ.
ನಿಮಗೆ 1.5 ಲಕ್ಷ ವಾಪಸ್ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ನಾಳೆ ದಿನಾನೇ.
ಓಕೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೆಯೋದು ಇದು?
ಇವಾಗ ನಿಮ್ದು ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ 33,58,000 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು.
ಸೊ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ your amount is recovered in 7 weeks.
ಓಕೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು ಕಣೋ. ಹೊಸದು ಸೇಮ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಹೊಸದಾಗಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ.
ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಹೊಸ ಕಂಪನಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಮಂತ್ ಓಲ್ಡ್ ಕಂಪನಿ.
ಓಕೆ ನೋಡು.
ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಬ್ಬ ಸಿಗ್ದ, ಹಿಂಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ದ. ನಾನು ಐ ವಾಸ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಟೆಲಿಂಗ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಯು ಅಂಡ್ ಹಿ ಸೆಡ್ ದಟ್ ಸರ್ ಐ ರಿಯಲಿ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಮೀಟ್ ಯು ಸರ್. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಕೇಳಿರೋ ಐಡಿಗಳು ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಪಟ್ಟೆ 3 ಲಕ್ಷ 2 ಲಕ್ಷ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ನಾವು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೊಸ ಎಕ್ಸೆಲ್ ಬರೋದು ಇವಾಗ ಅದ್ರ ತಗೋಬೋದಲ್ಲ, ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಲ್ಲ.
ಹೌದು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು.
ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ಐ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಹಿಮ್ ಇನ್ ಫ್ರಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಹಿಮ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ. ಬಟ್ ನೀನು ಬಿಸಿ ಇದೆ ಮಚ್ಚ.
ಹೇಳು.
ನಾವು ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಮೋರ್ ಥಿಕ್ಕರ್. ನೀನು ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಟೈಮ್ ಸ್ಪೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಲಿಟರಲಿ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಮೇಕ್ ಮನಿ.
ಶೋರ್ ಕಣೋ, ನಾನು ಸಿಗ್ತೀನಿ, ಮಾತಾಡೋಣ.
ನೀನು ನಾಳೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಮಚ್ಚ, ಮಂಡೆ 100% ನಾನು ಫ್ರೀ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಸಿಗ್ತೀನಿ.
ಸಿಗೋಣ ಕಣೋ ಮಂಡೇ, ಸೇಮ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್. ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಸಕಾರಾಗ ಬರ್ಬೇಕು. ನಾನು ಬರ್ತಾನೆ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಕೆಲಸ.
5 ಗಂಟೆವರೆಗೂ ನಮ್ಮ ಅಂಗಡಿ ಇದೆಯೋ.
ಹೌದಾ? ಓಕೆ.
ಅಂಗಡಿ ಬೀಗ ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ನಾನು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಬರ್ತಾ ಹಂಗೆ 2 ಬೀರ್ ಹಿಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟೆ ಕೈಯಲ್ಲಿ.
ಎಷ್ಟೊತ್ತಿಗೆ ನೀನ್ ಮುಗಿಸ್ತೀಯ ನಿನ್ ಕೆಲಸ?
5 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ಅಂಗಡಿ ಬೀಗ ಹಾಕೊಂಡು 5:25 ನಿಂಗೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗ್ತೀನಿ.
ಆಯ್ತು, ಮಾಡೋಣ ಕಣೋ, ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ. ಯಾ
ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಡು ಇಟ್. ಸಿ ಯಾರೆಲ್ಲ ದುಡ್ಡು ಮಾಡ್ದವ್ರ, ನೀನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲೇಬೇಕು ಮಚ್ಚ ಈಗ.
ಮಾಡೋಣ ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ಕಣೋ, ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ.
ಏನ್ ಗೊತ್ತೋ, ಸಿ when God is given opportunity, let's be in a circle ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಏನಿಲ್ಲ.
Of course, you're right much. Yeah.
Definitely I will see you 100% I'll meet you on Monday.
ಓಕೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇದೇನ್ ಇವಾಗ ಟ್ರಾನ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀಯನಲ್ಲ, ಏನ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕಾ ಇವಾಗ?
ನನಗೆ ಬೇಕು 5,08,000 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಟ್ರಾನ್ ನನಗೆ ಬೇಕು ಟು ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಐಡಿ.
ಓಕೆ.
ಅವ್ನು ಏನಾದ್ರು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಂಗೆ 5,08,000 ನಿಂಗೆ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ ಸರ್ ಮಂಡೇ ಈವ್ನಿಂಗ್.
ಆಯ್ತು.
ಅವ್ನು ಯಾವಾಗ ಅವ್ನು ಇದು ಹೇಳ್ತಾನಲ್ಲ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜು ಅವ್ನ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಡಿ.
ಆಯ್ತು, ಡನ್.
ಓಕೆ ಕಣ, 100% ನಾನು ಬರ್ತೀನಿ ಮಂಡೇ.
ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು, ಮಾಡೋಣ ಕಣೋ, ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ.
ಮಾಡೋಣ ಕಣ.
ಓಕೆ. ಟೇಕ್ ಕೇರ್ ಕಣೋ.
Take care, Mata. Yeah,
ಓಕೆ, ಬಾಯ್.